he described it. The issues with people signing stuff off and maybe not doing it properly, not following the procedures, process breakdowns.
Boeing responded to the allegations, saying they will continue to investigate.
We now know the identity of one of the victims in a charter plane crash near Moab. He's been identified as a resident of Western Washington State.
He was an avid sportsman, like windsurfing and kite surfing and wingboarding and mountain biking and dirt bike riding.
But those who knew Darren Tao,
we did a lot of hiking together and a tremendous amount of sailing together and became very, very good friends.
would also argue the avid sailor was a one-of-a-kind friend.
He was kind of the ringleader and larger than life.
Sadly, Tao's friends say he was one of the two people on board the plane that crashed near the border of Utah and Colorado on Wednesday. Both he and the other person didn't survive.
That's KIRO TV. Reporter Jake Chapman. The plane was on its way from Grand Junction to Tacoma. We do not yet know the identity of the second victim.
2 people made it out safely after their small airplane suffered engine failure over the weekend, and they had to make an emergency landing in Spanish Fork. The plane came to rest in a front yard near 500 West and 1000 North on Saturday afternoon. No one was hurt, either in the plane or on the ground.
Authorities in Hurricane had to rush to help someone who set themselves on fire after using gasoline on their campfire over the weekend. KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with the details. Adam?
And ended up sustaining second and third degree burns to 8% of their body, mostly around the area of their leg and foot. Now, along with the severe burns, this person accidentally started several other fires in their yard, leading crews to issue a reminder to everyone, if this ever happens to you, stop, drop, and roll. This person was taken to an area hospital, but later had to be transported to a burn unit in Las Vegas. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic now on a Monday morning, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Well, Amanda, so far, pretty quiet start to the drive. No crashes on I-15 or in the valleys, but there is one way out west. If you're coming in from Wendover, you'll hit it just before you get to Skull Valley. But that won't affect most drivers this morning. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Some cities and subdivisions are cracking down on beehives on personal property, but Utah Representative Rex Shipp wants to keep the beehive state beehive-friendly.
A lot of bees dying off around the country, and this is really a critical thing.
Shipp is sponsoring some legislation to allow anyone to have beehives on their property. It's in the process of getting reworded to hopefully get passed this session. Shipp says we need to be supporting those with beehives, not shutting them down.
A new study is showing how alternating your arms for vaccination may just help you fight diseases. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with that story. Michael?
Amanda, when doctors ask you if you'd rather get your shot on your right arm or your left arm, then there's probably not much thinking to it. But now, researchers at Oregon Health and Science University say going back and forth between your arms for booster shots actually increases your immunity. The theory goes a shot in different arms activates different lymph nodes. This all comes from a pandemic-era study where people alternated their arms for the vaccine and the boosters. They found participants who swapped arms showed a stronger response to Omicron 1 year after, and it looks like the principle applies to other vaccines too, so now you know. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
In sports, Kansas City Chiefs fans celebrated through the night in Las Vegas after the team's Super Bowl victory.
Terry became emotional while watching the team celebrate on the field.
The team has a lot of heart, and I just love that. I've been watching since I was a little girl. My dad passed away, and he was a big Chief fan, and I watched him growing up with him, so it means the world to me that they're doing this.
And at the game, her daughter told her she's expecting a baby, making the victory that much more special. Alex Stone, ABC News at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
Man, what a game that was last night.
It was one of the
Holy
better
cow.
Super Bowls we've had in a long time.
For sure. Looking for something to do with your sweetheart this week? A new ranking shows Utahns love their rom-coms.
That love, true love.
According to a study by PR Hub, Pretty Woman, When Harry Met Sally, or Clueless sit at the top of most states, but not here in Utah.
Oh, my sweet Wesley, what have I done?
At the top of our list is The Princess Bride, that sweet fantasy story of Wesley and Buttercup separated when he leaves to find fame and fortune and brought back together just in time to save her from an ill-fated marriage to Prince Humperdinck.
True love is the greatest thing in the world.
Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Okay, so it is your favorite too, or near the top anyway. Coming up in a minute, we'll see what kind of a morning we have going. I can tell you from looking at the UDOT cameras in Sandy, there's not a lot happening out there, and the roads are dry. We'll check it all next.
A legacy of news and information going back generations.
I'll have the radio on. I learned that from my mom. She's listened to KSL her whole life, and I grew up listening to KSL radio too.
I really enjoy listening in the morning.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs and cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. Are you a veteran, active duty military, or already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Making an Impact, sponsored by Grainger. Dr. Uche Blackstock is on a mission to fight bias and systemic racism in healthcare.
Messaging that we have all around us that Black people are less human or can't feel pain as much, that manifests itself in how health professionals interact with patients.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers professional-grade supplies and solutions, made for every industry and backed by product experts. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Thanks for waking up with us this morning here on KSL as we start the morning keeping an eye on those roads with traffic and weather together this morning. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon, and Andy's back in the traffic center.
And right now, travel through Valley looking just fine. Draper to downtown, only 20 minutes travel time on the very excellent dry road conditions. I don't see any city street issues, even on Mountain View, the whole way from Daybreak all the way to 21st South so far. Jason?
And likewise, looking really good up in Weber and Davis counties as you travel southbound from Ogden to Salt Lake City. You're going to do so at the regular speed. Likewise, on 89 Legacy in the West Side Belt, those are good speeds and no problems on your major feeders. Eric?
And I-15 Utah County cruising right along this morning. No problems from Spanish Fork, Springville, all the way up to Thanksgiving Point. If you're getting onto the freeway, no issues there for the major feeders. Along the Wasatch Bank, we do have slow patches on US 40, slow movement from River Road up to Jordanelle Reservoir and that the north part of the reservoir as well. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's a chilly start this morning with temperatures in the 20s. Highs today will be near average in the low 40s, and we'll have mostly sunny skies all throughout the day. Highs get warmer each day. We approach 50 by Wednesday, and the only thing we're looking out for is just some passing clouds. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
What is the temperature downtown?
Let me
pray
see.
tell.
It's a 28 degrees. It's cold this morning.
Yeah, I did see the wind chill was expected to be in the teens this morning, so bundle up.
Coming up in just a moment, we'll hear more about Senator Todd Weiler's bill that would let you, let's say you did one of those databases where you send in a little bit of your blood or spit or something, and you get your DNA
for
analyzed.
your genealogy.
For your genealogy.
Yeah.
And then police have access to that DNA database, which has helped in solving and also in vindicating many people. But he wants you to be able to opt out of police having access to your information for privacy reasons. We'll get more on that just ahead on KSL News Radio.
Stay right there. We'll talk about it next. And, of course, you'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Are you ready for Valentine's Day? Visit Shane Company for a last-minute gift that won't feel last minute. We have the largest selection of fine jewelry in every price range. From on-trend necklaces with colorful gemstones to classic diamond earrings, every piece is lovingly crafted and backed by our free lifetime warranty. We'll help you find the perfect gift, and it will look like you've been planning for months. P.S. They'll never know you waited until the last minute. Give a Valentine's Day gift that was made to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
Hey folks, it's Doug and Kathy with Window World.
Doug, can you believe it's been 20 years?
What's been 20 years?
Well, since we opened our first Window World store.
That is amazing. Our motto today is the same. Quality products, professionally installed, backed up by our awesome warranty.
And our team shares those very same values.
Come see us today. We have stores in Murray and Spanish Fork for your convenience.
Experience the Window World difference. Call 801-281-8111 or visit windowworldutah.com.
And we promise no baloney.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails with feedback from customers. Here's one. Dear Dan, I just had the best experience ever. I bought a computer from Shane at your State Street store. I asked several what I thought were really stupid questions. Shane was super courteous and made me feel comfortable through the whole process. People need to understand how important it is to support a local company, especially when your experience is so good. PC Laptops really does love me. Signed, Satisfied. I love hearing feedback like that. It really just gives me the chills. It's the whole reason why I got into the computer business in the first place. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop, and they start at only $29 a month. And it comes with a lifetime warranty. That means if anything goes wrong, we're going to take care of you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. At PC Laptops, we really do love you.
KSL News Time, 5:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a Hurricane resident is now receiving treatment in a burn unit after they used gasoline on their campfire over the weekend. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, two snowmobilers had to be rescued over the weekend after they got stuck in steep terrain in Wasatch County. Rescuers say they had a satellite phone with them.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic has been pretty sharp so far this morning, whether you're starting out Ogden, Salt Lake, or Provo in either direction. Only some heavy traffic on Highway 40, it looks like, between Heber and Park City right now. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
More sunshine is on the way, but slightly warmer. I'm Devin Mishuli.
And right now, 28 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is back in the hospital. The Pentagon says he's in the critical care unit at Walter Reed Medical Center for a bladder issue. ABC's Em Nguyen has the latest from Washington.
Officials released a statement yesterday saying Secretary Austin transferred the functions and duties of the Office of the Secretary of Defense to Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the White House, and Congress have been notified. Now, Austin is scheduled to travel to Europe this week for a NATO meeting. No word yet if that will be canceled.
The Israeli military says it carried out a special forces raid in Rafah to free two hostages. One of the two rescued was 60-year-old Fernando Simon Marman. His niece, Geffen Siegel, spoke at the Israeli hospital where both men are now being treated.
I want to thank all the people who made all their effort to save them, save their lives.
Hamas said dozens were killed. The Kansas City Chiefs won their third Super Bowl in 5 years as they beat the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 in overtime. Chiefs coach Andy Reid explained what he told his team at halftime when they trailed by 7 points.
You got to just kind of calm it down, and we're right there. We're getting the ball to start the second half, and everybody just hang with each other, and good things can happen.
Quarterback Patrick Mahomes was Super Bowl MVP. Houston police responded to a call for a shooting at Lakewood Church just before Sunday's services.
The suspect this time was a woman, and she had a young boy with her. After she produced a rifle and fired at least one shot, off-duty law enforcers returned fire, killing the woman and injuring the child. Joel Osteen is the senior pastor.
We're going to pray for that little 5-year-old boy and pray for the lady that was deceased, her family and all.
The child was hospitalized in critical condition. A bystander was hit in the leg. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
You're listening to ABC News.
Let's go in depth here, clarifying a story we first brought you on Friday about the use of genetic genealogy databases in fighting crime. Senator Todd Weiler told KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce that he sponsored the bill last year that requires companies to let you opt in or out for your data to be used with police.
This year, he's working on a new bill that would shore up some of those privacy protections, but hopefully still allow police to use the tool.
If you broke into my house tonight and you stole my TV and you took my, I don't know, microwave and you found some cash in my drawer, you might leave fingerprints behind, right? And the police might find your fingerprint and they might catch you. We're all familiar with that. We've all watched, TV for the last 30 years. But your DNA fingerprint, that implicates you. It implicates your second cousins. It implicates your children. It implicates your siblings. And so that's like Libertas's concern, because let's say you decide, hey, I want to know if I have the gene that makes me more prone to have Alzheimer's, right? And so you take a DNA test and you opt in, right? And so now, maybe 20 years later, they're looking to solve a crime that your second cousin, who's never met you, has committed, but because you opted into this database with your Alzheimer's search, now the police can nail him. Now, so if you're on the law enforcement side of the fence, you say, wonderful, we're going to catch more criminals. But if you're on the privacy side of the fence, like how could Becky Bruce have volunteered my DNA? I've never met this person before. She's like my aunt's, my aunt's cousin or whatever. How could she have made me opt in? So those are the two sides of the fence. And balancing those different concerns is very, very difficult. And we want to solve crimes, but we also don't want to trod over everyone's privacy interest. And that's the needle we're trying to thread.
That's a tough one to thread.
Yeah.
Because the desire to have law enforcement have access to this tool is enormous.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the privacy concerns to a degree.
I would always prefer in any of these situations, and we've talked about this with lots of other apps and things, I would always prefer to be able to opt in rather than have to opt out, not knowing that you were already signed up for something.
Right.
I mean, that's the side I default on for most of these things. But.
Right. Although I sort of want to default to giving the police the help they need.
Yeah. I understand that, too. Something we'll continue to follow as the legislative process works its way through here on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
5:19, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Amanda, travel looking good so far on both I-80 and I-15 through Salt Lake County. Light traffic this morning and pretty good road conditions. Not even seeing any wait times on Mountain View or Bangerter at the intersections. Jason?
Roads are dry up north and speeds are good if you're traveling through Weber and Davis counties. And if you're headed up into the canyons right now, you're not going to see really any trouble there either. Weber Canyon, Ogden Canyon, Sardine, they're all clear in both directions. Eric?
Well, that slowing that we had initially going up to the Jordanelle Reservoir level, that's northbound US 40 in the Wasatch Bank, that's dissipated a little bit, just still some slow-moving vehicles there as you head north up towards I-80 in Park City. Going through the mountains, Parleys Canyon looks good on I-80. Down in Utah County, I-15 is a pretty decent ride right now, 24 minutes from Spanish Fork to Point of the Mountain. Call 866-0RES and say you want the KSL special, $33 per room cleaned and $50 off air duct cleaning. Zero Res. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The 7-day forecast calls for mostly sunny skies and a seasonable start to the work week with highs in the low 40s. We warm into the mid to upper 40s Tuesday, Wednesday. We hold the above average temperature trend for the rest of the work week, and overall it looks dry. Our only rain chance is on Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
It's cold out there this morning, 28 degrees.
So, would you like to go to a jazz game?
Again, yes. How many times do you have to ask me this?
I know. The answer is always yes. But I thought our listeners might want to get in on this because, let's see, this is, which game is
Wednesday.
this?
It's got to be the Lakers.
Oh,
right?
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's the Lakers game. Holy cow.
Yeah.
We're giving away seats to the Lakers game. You can get in on the contest right now by texting the word Jazz to 57500. But tomorrow and Wednesday morning at 8:45, we'll give you an additional word, which will give you an additional chance to win those tickets. I can't believe we're giving away Lakers tickets. That's awesome.
Lower Bowl. And so you're going to have great seats for the game coming up on Wednesday night. Good luck to the Jazz. By the way, the 7-day forecast this morning is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful, and we'll check money news next.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we have represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Offices in Midvale and Clearfield. 1412 South Legend Hills Drive, Suite 200, Clearfield, Utah, 84015. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Furnishing our living spaces hasn't changed much in decades. Until now. Euromax authentic European furniture starts with the room. Cabinets, sliding doors, dressers, and desks that are as smart as they are sleek and modern. Combining classic European design, exceptional quality American craftsmanship with convenience, comfort, and technology. Euromax declutters your space, designing entire walls of elegant, smart, and stylish storage, taking beautiful advantage of every inch. Living rooms, bathrooms, kitchen, and bedrooms. Features like concealed wiring, built-in charging, integrated lighting, automation and tech. Sustainable, eco-friendly furniture built for your lifestyle without compromise. Construction, finish, and hardware feature a lifetime warranty. Prepare to be excited about your living space. See it in action at EuromaxFurniture.com. EuromaxFurniture.com. Euromax, built for you. Brought to you by Dominion Energy's ThermWise program, where they put their energy into helping you conserve it. Start saving energy and money today at ThermWise.com.
Do you have an IRA or 401k? It's natural to think of this as being your money, right? But remember, you still have to pay taxes when you withdraw this money in retirement. And you could be paying a lot more in taxes on these accounts than you know. A lot more. Learn the strategies that can help you reduce or eliminate your taxes in retirement. Don't miss a special edition of Retirement Solutions Radio this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL News Radio 1027.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Americans ate more than 1 billion wings.
I ate almost all of those last night.
For the Super Bowl. The National Chicken Council says the 1.45 billion wings is enough for every person in the U.S. to eat 4 wings each. It also stretches 1/3 of the way to the moon.
Yeah. So for those of you that didn't eat it, let me just say I took care of it for about 4 of you last night. Funny. If the average is 4 per person. Uber is making changes to its Super Bowl commercial after claims that it made fun of food allergies. The Food Allergy Research and Education Charity asked the company to edit out a part that featured a man having an allergic reaction to peanut butter. The charity says the joke was inappropriate.
More than 380,000 Frigidaire refrigerators have been recalled after multiple reports of plastic in the ice bucket. The company says a piece of the ice machine is fragile and can easily break, leading to a choking hazard.
All right, markets are mixed, but really just basically flat to start the morning. The Dow is off only 27. The S&P is up 1/4 point, not 1/4%. And the NASDAQ is in the green this morning, but only by 5.5.
Look at how smooth that early morning commute is. Not a problem out there.
Not many people out there.
Not yet. And no weather to cause you any delays, but we'll check it. Traffic and weather together coming up next.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program in the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. There are about 4,000 books a year published about leadership. 99% of them are written by self-proclaimed experts who see leadership as a fire that burns within. They assume that leadership is located in us, in the head and in the heart. Well, they're wrong. Leadership, like love, is a co-creation. It requires a relationship. It is found in the space between people. It is a series of behaviors, not traits of an individual. Leaders don't fly solo. They need a co-pilot and a crew. They need to collaborate. Learn more about leadership in an MBA from Utah State University. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
A stranger with a gun fires on 2 teens, shattering lives. But that's only the beginning of this story. Listen to The Letter at theletterpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Imagine yourself here.
Through traffic all the way to the finish line and let it up and in.
On us. Score your tickets to Wednesday's Jazz Lakers Showdown. Listen to Utah's Morning News Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:45 for your chance to win. Jazz Lakers tickets from Utah's Morning News and KSL News Radio.
This week's movie show brought to you by Sound Sleep Medical. Get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation by tuning in on Friday morning. Sound Sleep Medical with 7 locations in Utah.
KSL News Time now, 5:29. Traffic and weather together. Again, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. So quiet out there, Andy.
Yeah, it's really nice, especially after coming to the stormy big commutes we had last week. Today, you should be rolling along just fine as you head into downtown from Draper through Salt Lake and out of Tooele. So far, a 10-minute drive on the freeway from Lake Point to the airport. Jason?
And about 29 to 30 minutes is the travel time you're going to take to go from Ogden, southbound I-15, down to downtown Salt Lake City. That means there's no accidents and no delays that you have to worry about there. And likewise, no other accidents or delays on any of your side streets either. Eric?
It's looking pretty good in Utah County to start things off. You wouldn't expect much volume, and you don't have it. And you've got normal travel times. Northbound from Santa Quin to Point of the Mountain, that's a 30-minute drive. State Street and Redwood Road also looking good heading north. Don't let tax problems ruin your life. Let Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox handle the IRS so you don't have to. Visit TaxHelpUT.com. That's TaxHelpUT.com. Eric Butler on the KSL Traffic Center.
And the weather forecast, let's get a look and see what our temperatures will be today. Up to 43 degrees for a high. And we're in a warming trend. Look at this tomorrow, 46, 47 Wednesday, 48 on Thursday. By the time we get to the weekend, it'll be 49 degrees on Sunday. It looks like just slight chances of rain, a little bit more toward the latter part of the week. Today, we won't see any rain, mostly sun today. And right now, downtown, it's still on the chilly side, though, 28 degrees.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 5:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
All the new snow from last week's storms are still making avalanche conditions in the mountains pretty dicey to start the week.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, forecasters are still working to make their way up to the mountains to start the morning, but Utah Avalanche Center forecaster Dave Kelly tells me the risk that we're seeing on the Utah Avalanche Center website right now will likely stay the same today, at least in the Wasatch Range. Right now, avalanche danger between Logan and Ogden is moderate, but it's considerable from Salt Lake to Provo and in the Uintas. Kelly says danger will likely go down as we go through the week as we give that snowpack a chance to stabilize from the recent storms, but we just are not there yet. He says today, if you plan to go to the backcountry, stay off of slopes 30 degrees and higher. And of course, as always, bring a beacon, shovel, probe, and somebody else to go out with you. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
2 snowmobilers are expected to make a full recovery after they got stuck in steep terrain in Wasatch County. Rescuers say they were able to locate them easily, in part because they had a satellite beacon with them and were able to set off the SOS button. They were also able to start a fire to stay warm until rescuers were able to dig them out of the deep snow roughly 5 hours later.
A slight correction to a story we brought you Friday morning. Utah law requires companies with genetic genealogy databases to let you opt in or opt out before your data can be shared with law enforcement. Senator Todd Weiler sponsored the bill to do that, which was signed by Governor Cox into law last year.
The database companies themselves have made significant improvements and addressed the security issues both internally with a user agreement with those who are working within the law enforcement opt-out sanctions.
This year, he's got a draft bill to shore up some of those privacy protections, which also still allow police access for solving crimes.
A bill to house inmates with those who share the same biological sex that they had at birth is advancing in the legislature. House Majority Whip Carrie Ann Lisenby is the sponsor. She told KSL at Night it's to ensure inmate safety.
So the consideration will always be safety of the correctional officers, safety of the inmates, to ensure that this is a low-risk situation.
Lisenby says the bill provides guidelines for correctional officers to prevent them from making difficult choices.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Former President Donald Trump is under fire after saying if he is reelected, he would not protect NATO allies unless they pay their fair share in defense funds. The European Union's top diplomat, Josep Borrell, reacted this morning.
Let's be serious. Let's be serious. NATO cannot be an alliance à la carte. It exists or it not exist.
The Biden administration called those comments unhinged.
A large majority of Americans say both of the presidential frontrunners are just too old. Here's ABC's Alex Brachet.
President Biden has been facing increased criticism about running for a second term after that scathing special counsel report, which cleared him of any criminal wrongdoing, but went on to characterize him as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Democrats on the Hill have been rallying around the president, saying he is fit to serve. But in a new ABC News Ipsos poll, 86% of Americans think Biden is too old to serve another term as president. That figure includes 59% of Americans who think both he and Donald Trump are too old.
The Biden campaign joined TikTok last night.
State Street is open again today, but it was a wild scene over the weekend after police pulled over a man who claimed to have explosives in his truck. KSL TV's Shelby Lofton reports.
Material spotted inside of a pickup truck led to several businesses closing down early and others forced to evacuate. Salt Lake City police say an officer pulled over a black truck for an expired registration. Police say the driver pulled a knife on an officer when he was asked to get out of the truck.
The driver was identified as a non-compliant sex offender with a record out of Arizona.
And he's back again with some first look traffic.
And so far, no crashes to report. Freeways holding up really well, especially I-15 at this point. Had a little bit of, I can actually see an occasional snowflake falling on Highway 40. That might be the reason why traffic sometimes seems to slow down near Jordanelle. But otherwise, it's been pretty good for everybody. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Utah's commercial real estate brokers are trying to get ahead of a bill that would require them to share accurate property value data with Utah counties. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has more on why they're taking action. Peter?
Amanda, the reason commercial brokers are moving quickly is because this bill would change the way counties assess how much commercial properties are worth here in Utah. The current system does not require brokers to release current value data to county assessors, who decide how big a tax will be levied on a particular property. Assessors often have to take a guess, and bill sponsor Dan McKay says that shifts the property tax burden to another pressure point for Utahns, their homes. Brokers have responded to McKay's bill by hashing out a possible compromise with county assessors, according to Building Salt Lake City. McKay hasn't revealed whether he'd still push for the bill if a solid compromise does emerge from the talks. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Utah has the third lowest number of mortgage-free homes in the U.S. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris reports.
In the state, there are just over 30% of homes that are mortgage-free, according to data by Consumer Affairs. This is the third lowest number in the nation after Maryland and Colorado. The study reports that the area with the highest rate of mortgage-free home ownership is St. George.
The state that had the most outright owned homes in the country was West Virginia, where that's true for more than half of homeowners.
7 months have passed since Utah launched a down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with where that's at. Michael?
Tim, the state legislature set aside $50 million for the program, which gives first-time homeowners a $20,000 down payment for new homes. Now, as of last month, nearly 500 people reserved funds to purchase a home, with townhomes and attached plan unit developments being what people spent the most on, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. And as far as popular locations go, Saratoga Springs, Spanish Fork, Magna, Eagle Mountain, and Riverton have properties that qualify for the assistance. Advocates are hoping the program will remain a step in the right direction for making homes more accessible and closer to city centers. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
The Kansas City Chiefs spent the night celebrating their Super Bowl win.
On the field here, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift spent time. They hugged and gave each other kisses. A sweaty Travis Kelce hugging his girlfriend after she came back from Tokyo to be here to see him play. Several times she was shown on the screens during the game, to which there were loud boos.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The Chiefs beat the 49ers in overtime in the second Super Bowl to ever go into overtime.
Football fans just want to watch football. That's what's going on here. Well, it's an accident-free commute if you're getting up early this morning. Hopefully it stays that way all morning long, but we'll check traffic and weather together next.
Join your friends who rely on KSL each morning for the fastest routes to work and school.
I like traffic on the 9s.
So I need to get the kids up earlier so that my son isn't driving quickly in a snowstorm.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s.
On KSL News Radio.
BMW IBU World Cup Biathlon action returns to Soldier Hollow Nordic Center March 8th through 10th. Don't miss this thrilling sport featuring the world's best biathletes, combining heart-pumping ski racing with precision target shooting. Cheer on competitors from Team USA, Norway, Italy, France, Germany, Sweden, and more. General admission is free for all spectators. Premium seating tickets are also available. Get more info at IBUWorldCupUtah.com.
Tonight on KSL, if you choose not to tip, you could pay the price. I was like, wow. KSL investigator Matt Gephardt digs into the new push to get your gratuity before any work is done.
You've already got the money. Does it change your motivation to hustle?
See how it's attracting workers.
0 tip. I was pretty much working for charity.
But at what cost to you?
It's really run amok sometimes.
What to consider before you fall into the pre-tip trap tonight at 10.
Just looking at that forecast, does look like we're going to be dry through Thursday of this week, but still avalanche danger is very much a concern in the backcountry. We'll continue to sort that out with our Adam Small.
KSL News Time is 5:39. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
I-15 traffic looks great so far. Volumes have been pretty light on all of the freeways in Salt Lake County, 215, 201, and I-80 as well. Looking at city streets to see if anything's starting to creep in. Nothing yet on Mountain View or Bangerter. Those intersections you'll be able to get through pretty quick. Jason?
We remain accident and delay-free up north. If you are traveling on southbound I-15, you're going to be able to do so at 70-plus miles an hour. And depending on how heavy your foot is on that gas pedal, it's going to be 29 to 30 minutes to go Ogden to Salt Lake City at this point. If you're looking for any trouble on the west side belt, Legacy or 89, you're not going to find it there either. Eric?
And over on the 215 East Belt, heading north from Cottonwood Heights through Holiday, Mill Creek, all the way up to Foothill Drive, all of that is in good shape for northbounders this morning. I-80 for Parley's Canyon drivers heading east towards Kimball Junction, that's also in good shape. And westbound through Sugar House over to I-15, no trouble there. Call 866-0-RES and say you want the KSL special. $33 per room cleaned and $50 off air duct cleaning. 0-RES. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
High pressure remains in control today, which means we stay quiet and sunny. Highs are going to be a touch warmer today in the low 40s, right where we should be for this time of year. Now, over the next couple of days, we stay dry. We'll just add some passing clouds throughout the day on Tuesday, Wednesday, and highs approach 50 by the middle parts of the work week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
We're below the freezing mark for the first time in a long time. 28 degrees.
We're going to talk to Alex Stone coming up in a couple of minutes. He was there for the big game last night.
Probably hasn't had any sleep.
I bet. We'll talk to him in a moment from Las Vegas, just ahead on KSL News Radio.
Remember, you'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Jeff Kaplan here. Every once in a while, I do my show from home, and you probably wouldn't be able to tell. I'm on KSL and sending video to the internet all at the same time because I have Xfinity Wi-Fi. It's pretty amazing because at the same time, my wife's streaming a movie, grandkids come over, one's watching YouTube, two are playing Minecraft, and others watching a flick, all while Grandma says, shh, Papa's on the air. We run all these devices, and I do a show thanks to my reliable, fast connection. Xfinity Wi-Fi is a game changer. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi on the Xfinity 10G network for a reliable connection throughout your home. Now through March 21st, new customers can get started with 1.2 gigabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply to Internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. Listen, we're fiduciaries. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. Now, imagine how that would be if you could actually retire 3 to 5 years sooner than your plan was. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan, taking into consideration any rental properties that you have, any pension income that you have, your Social Security. Listen, we put that all together for you in writing. It will allow us to build your income based on inflation. You know, inflation has been rapidly rising. You and I both need a plan that whatever we start out our income at, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to need 40% more income. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Dave and Debbie. I want our listeners to feel like they have an advocate, that they have somebody that's going to fight for them, challenge the status quo or the pithy soundbite. We have a unique job where we have access to interviews and people that not everyone has. We take that seriously. So if we do feel like we're getting a spin, then we can challenge it. I love it when people tell me, I was just thinking about that question that you asked. I'm glad you asked that question. That's like the height of compliment.
I want our listeners to feel empowered to use the information that they've learned on the Dave and Dujanovic show to help their families, to help make good decisions, help investigate other avenues to maybe protect their family's safety or protect their family's money. I'm hopeful our show leaves our listeners with a sense of empowerment so they can make the best decision possible for themselves and for their families.
Listen for Dave and Dujanovic 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson.
When we're trying to digest the news of the day, we have to remember that instant certainty is the enemy of truth. A flashy headline may distract you from the real issue and the important conversations underneath.
Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson, 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 5:45. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
the family of a woman run over and killed by her drunk husband at Salt Lake City International Airport is suing Delta for serving him alcohol when he was already under the influence. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, a Utah lawmaker wants to house prison inmates with inmates who share the same biological sex at birth.
Third, let's check the drive with traffic and weather together.
It's been pretty nice so far. No crashes to report. Freeways or city streets. It's been a little bit heavier now on Mountain View, a little on the west side going through Kearns, but pretty good on the east side city streets and in Utah and Davis counties on the city streets. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be a seasonable start to the work week. I'm Devin Mishuli.
And right now, it's 28 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Kansas City Chiefs receiver Mecole Hardman caught the game-winning touchdown pass in overtime of the Super Bowl. But he told ABC's Good Morning America he hadn't realized what he had just done.
I didn't know. I blacked out for a second, and I seen Pat run to me. I'm like, okay, it's time to celebrate now. So, yeah, I definitely blacked out for sure.
Pat is Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He was the MVP in the 25-22 overtime win over the San Francisco 49ers. Former President Donald Trump's expected to attend a hearing today in Florida involving the case brought by the special counsel over alleged mishandling of classified documents. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's hospitalized for the second time this year for what the Pentagon calls a bladder issue. He transferred his duties to his deputy. A woman was shot and killed after she pulled out a rifle and opened fire at celebrity pastor Joel Osteen's Houston church. A 5-year-old boy with the woman was critically hurt. This is ABC News.
A big night in Las Vegas. I wonder how Travis Kelce feels about being called Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Got to take home a Super Bowl ring.
ABC's Alex Stone was at Allegiant Stadium for all the action. He joins us live. You must be exhausted, Alex.
No, it's all good. Speaking of Kelce, though, he didn't seem to mind last night as they were hugging and giving kisses on the field. A real sweaty Travis Kelce that they were definitely showing off their affection after the victory last night. But the celebrating, well, really, it's still going on. I just walked through the casino here at Mandalay Bay, and there's still a lot of fans decked out in Chiefs gear, and they're still celebrating and hooting and hollering. Security went running by me, so something was going on, and they're at the bars. But inside the stadium, it went on for a long time as well. That this is what we were hearing for probably a good 2.5 hours. Just over and over and over again as the fans were celebrating and the players were on the field. Patrick Mahomes was on the field a good hour or so before finally he walked off. And some of the fans saying that this means a lot, that this is what they obviously came here wanting. And this is really emotional for them for several reasons, including this woman.
I actually just told my mom tonight that I am pregnant with my first child, so them winning was like a double whammy for
Congratulations.
me. So thank you very much. But
and her mom was standing there crying, both because of the baby and because of the win, that they are lifelong Chiefs fans, and to get all of the news. So they were all quite ecstatic. But the 49ers fans, they thought they had it in the first half, that it was looking good, and then to have it taken away from them, what would have been their first championship in 30 years. They were devastated by it, and but in the end, going to the Chiefs again, only the second overtime in Super Bowl history, with the win that turned out to be quite a great game. At the beginning it was slow, but in the end, quite a great game.
Yeah. One of my friends last night on social media posted a thing that said, things are not going well at Allegiant Stadium. There's 70,000 fans and only one usher. But
That's pretty good.
The halftime show was a little bit longer this time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He went about 13 or 14 minutes, and a lot of special guests: Alicia Keys, her, Lil Jon, Ludacris. It was good, but is anybody going to be talking about it in 10 years? Probably not. It had some mic problems that made the performance sound a little bit off, at least in the stadium. It was so loud. I've covered a lot of these. This one was one where, you could not scream to the person next to you and they would hear you. And they gave us all these light-up necklace things to wear to make the whole stadium, the crowd light up. Mine is still blinking in front of me right now. I don't know when it's going to turn off, but apparently I'm still part of Usher's halftime show this morning.
The clip I keep seeing over and over again is the one of Travis Kelce yelling at the coach.
He bumped him. He almost knocked him down.
Really?
Yeah, that went viral, and they're kind of laughing about it now, but that's not how it's supposed to go, go over and bump the coach and then yell. He addressed that to our friends at ESPN.
Man, I was fired up, and we weren't hitting on all cylinders, and I had to give Big Red a love tap there and let him know that we were all here fighting for him no matter what.
Big Red got a love tap. He almost fell over and then was yelled at. And now they're both smiling about it. But behind the scenes, you have to wonder, and had they not won, how that would have turned out in the locker room. But they're kind of moving on.
All right, Alex, we're going to let you go. How was the catering for Press Row, by the way? You wouldn't know this, but I sat on the other side of the glass there next to the press area, announcing Raiders games on Sundays and Mondays.
Oh, very nice. Last night was dry sandwiches is kind of what they handed out to everybody. There were so many members of the media, but it's a great stadium, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it looked good on TV last night. Thanks for your coverage this morning.
That's the in-depth.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Alex. That's the in-depth at 15 and 45.
All right, let's get a look at how the roads are doing out there with traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. We go back over to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, the drive through the valley this morning still in good shape, 20 minutes from Draper to Salt Lake. It's a little bit heavier on Redwood now, going up Taylorsville to West Valley, but Bangerter Mountain View still pretty quiet, as is the 201 freeway from Magna over to I-15. Jason?
So far for this Monday morning, volume is light on your highways and side streets up in Weber and Davis counties. If you're looking to go over to I-15 on any of your major feeders, you're not going to find any resistance there. Likewise, the rest of your highways and side streets, they're all looking really good this morning. Eric?
Can't see any difficulties in Utah County either. Northbound on State Street for Orem drivers approaching 800 North. That's a little bit busy, but everything else looks pretty clean. Along the Wasatch Back right now, no problems heading north on US 40 from Heber City up to Park City and beyond. For a limited time, open a 9-month certificate from Cyprus Credit Union and get 5.6% APY. Learn more at any branch or visit cypruscu.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The beginning of the 7-day forecast is quiet. We expect mostly sunny skies for your Monday with highs in the low 40s. We warm up each day, so we'll be in the mid to upper 40s Tuesday and Wednesday. A chance of rain Thursday that'll slightly cool us down, but then we're back into the mid to upper 40s with quiet weather to close out the work week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
And let's see where we are right now. 28 degrees in the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Coming up, we'll get your Cougar tracks for you. Another big win for the Cougs over the weekend. Stay with us.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
If you know me, Hans Olsen, you know my wife's the most important thing in my life. What she wants, I deliver. And it looks like we're getting new cabinets. I took her to the Euromax cabinet showroom in Pleasant Grove, and she hasn't looked at me the way she looked at those cabinets in 15 years. Doors that close quietly with the press of a button, LED lighting inlaid, waterproof box, shelves, and doors that won't warp from moisture. Every color and design imaginable for those doors. Simply put, the most magnificent cabinets your eyes will ever behold. Mike and Max combined a vision of over 35 years of experience to bring us Euromax. Max with his Ukraine roots, and Mike with 25 years of installation. It delivers the greatest in cabinet design, building, and installation. Truly, my amazing wife was in awe. We both were. And if I have to buy her love, I will. Go see all the possibilities at EuromaxFurniture.com. That's EuromaxFurniture.com. Whether you're rebuilding a kitchen or starting a new build, it's EuromaxFurniture.com for your cabinets. Euromax, built for you.
Experience classical hits through a new lens. The Utah Symphony presents Masterworks Magnified, themed and fun-filled concert events that take you beyond the music. Are you a book lover? February 2nd and 3rd, discover the world of music inspired by literature. Then on April 26th and 27th, explore the powerful connection between music and motion. Bring a date or a few friends for a night out at downtown Salt Lake City's Abravanel Hall. Before the concert, grab drinks and specialty concessions and explore themed activities. Then settle into your seat. A host will guide you through the music, and captivating visuals will be projected as the orchestra plays. Masterworks Magnified is the perfect first symphony concert or a chance to experience classical music in a new way. Tickets start at $21 at utahsymphony.org/magnified.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. You looking for a new house, Amanda? This Florida compound spans 9 acres, 11,500 square feet, 2 guest houses, each over 5,000 square feet, and it only goes for $295 million.
Yeah, I think I'll skip that one.
It's the most expensive home in the U.S.
Wow.
for sale.
Let's get a look at your money at this moment. The Dow Futures off 22. That's just a fraction. S&P is unchanged. The NASDAQ is off 0.5, also just a fraction.
All right, let's get a look at Cougar Tracks this morning. It is brought to you by Central Bank CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. Visit cbutah.com. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
It was a good weekend for BYU basketball as the Cougars got back in the win column with a 72-66 victory over Kansas State. The only downside was that BYU made it closer than they needed it to. They had a 16-point lead, dwindled down to 2 with with 1 minute left before Jackson Robinson buried a three with 50 seconds remaining to put BYU out in front for good. Here was Robinson on the shot.
I mean, it was just kind of a stagger screen. I came off, was just aggressive, looking for my shot, and I just let it go, and it went in.
It seemed like a tough catch.
It wasn't the catch that any shooter would want, but I mean, Dallin got it to me, and that's all that matters.
BYU improves to 5-5 in Big 12 play. They return to action tomorrow against UCF in Provo. Listen to Cougar Nation tonight at 6 p.m. as we take your phone calls discussing all things BYU basketball right here on KSL. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Are you a startup, entrepreneur, or business owner looking for funding? Look no further than Central Bank's CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. CB Vault understands the unique challenges faced by business owners. CB Vault is here to help you start, grow, or thrive with a dedicated help center for startups and entrepreneurs, providing personalized financial solutions, networking, and guidance for every step of the way. With a range of services tailored for startups and small businesses and expert financial advice to flexible loan options, CB Vault helps you get funding and allows you to keep your equity. Whether you're seeking funding, planning expansion, or navigating the financial landscape, CB Vault's team of experts is ready to assist you in turning your vision into reality. Don't let financial barriers hold you back. Central Bank's CB Vault is here to unlock your business potential. Visit CB Vault today at cbutah.com. Central Bank, voted best bank in Utah Valley. Strong, local, secure. Since 1891. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bish's is skipping this year's big RV show for a big reason. It costs each dealer a fortune. And guess who gets stuck with the bill? Yep, you. So skip the big show expense and come to the Bish's Better Than Show pricing event for free admission, free parking, and better than show pricing on new and used RVs. Only at Bish's RV in Salt Lake and American Fork, February 12th through the 17th and President's Day. Better pricing's big, but better selection? That's huge. Instead of spending your money to see a handful of models hauled to the show, you're getting better than show pricing on our entire inventory of new and used RVs. You'll find pricing as low as $140 per month on approved credits, plus clearance pricing on all remaining new 2023s. You'll also make 0 payments until May on approved credit and get generous trade-in offers on your current RV. Start shopping now at skipthervshow.com. Better brands, bigger selection, lower than show pricing, and free admission? Why settle? Come to the Better Than Show pricing event at Bish's RV in Salt Lake and American Fork, February 12th through the 17th and President's Day. Bish's RV, where memories begin. Stock number 73504 and 76976. Based on 20% down, 8.99% APR for 180 months. Subject to prior sale. See dealer for details.
KSL and Bear River Lodge want to send you and your Valentine on a cozy romantic getaway. Win an overnight stay in a Bear River Lodge studio cabin, plus a full-day snowmobile or side-by-side rental. Until Valentine's Day, this package is available for just $4.99, but you can win this amazing package for free on the KSL contest page. Enter now. Text the word contest to 57500 or go to kslnewsradio.com/contests.
5:59 traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Increasing on the slowdown's increasing on the 201 freeway at 7200 West right now. Otherwise, I'm not seeing much in the way of delay in the whole Salt Lake Valley, I-15, 215, or any of the city streets just yet. Jason?
It's a smooth commute on all of your highways in Weber and Davis counties. You are starting to look a little bit busy right now at the south gate of Hill Air Force Base, maybe also on the west gate. You're going to find your typical busyness there. Otherwise, though, the rest of your highways and side streets, they're moving along accident-free. It's a clean drive this morning. Eric?
Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs drivers, right now it's the time to head over to I-15 because you don't have any problems eastbound on 2100 North or Pioneer Crossing. Northbound, southbound I-15, that's looking good too. Common Spirit, hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll look for a high today of 43 degrees, and then this warming trend will take hold. It will be close to 50 by Sunday. Right now, 28 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 6 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
The family of a woman run over by her drunk husband at Salt Lake International is suing the airline.
KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has details on the lawsuit against Delta. Peter?
Amanda, Charlotte Sturgeon's family says Utah law holds Delta Airlines responsible for her death, because it bans individuals from serving people already under the influence. Sturgeon's husband, Joseph Dalton, had already taken several drinks before boarding the plane and ordered 2 more, according to a charging document on the plane. Sturgeon's family says he had a blood alcohol level far over the legal limit and was so drunk before running over his wife that he could not remember getting on the plane. Now the family wants financial compensation for funeral costs, emotional damages, and other damages to the child who was in the car when he ran over his wife. Reporting live, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Well, some breaking news on KSL News Radio. One person is dead, one person in the hospital, and another person is being questioned by police after an early morning shooting in Sandy.
It happened near 600 East and 7800 South. 78 South is currently closed in the area for the investigation. Police tell us the call came in about 3:30 this morning, but offered few other details about what led up to it.
And we will continue to search out more details throughout the morning. Our top national story now this hour. A 5-year-old boy is in critical condition after a woman opened fire inside celebrity pastor Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston. Osteen joined police at a news conference after the shooting.
It could have been a lot worse. Of course, we're devastated. I mean, we've been here 65 years and have somebody shooting in your church. But, you know, we don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control.
One other person was injured in the shooting. 2 off-duty officers shot and killed the shooter.
A rare Sunday session for the U.S. Senate proved to be helpful for the long-awaited foreign aid package to assist Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel. The bill could be voted on this week. ABC's Ali Pekarin reports.
So what is increasingly likely is that we're going to vote on this national security money sometime in this coming week, likely Tuesday or Wednesday, and that it will not do anything to address the border. And that's because there are a number of defense hawks in the Senate that are so concerned about this increasing aggression from Vladimir Putin in Ukraine, that are concerned about the status of things in Israel, and that they're going to go ahead and allow this bill to progress, even though it doesn't include the border provisions that they once said were a necessity.
A 67-27 vote helped foreign aid advocates jump over a procedural hurdle.
Senator Mike Lee spent more than 3 hours on the Senate floor speaking against that bill.
We cannot send billions of dollars to Ukraine while America's own borders are bleeding.
Senator Lee and other Republicans argued securing the southern border should take priority.
Fire crews had to help a Hurricane resident who got seriously hurt after using gasoline on their campfire this weekend. KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, Hurricane Valley Fire and Rescue says not only did this person receive 2nd and 3rd degree burns, they accidentally set several other fires around the yard after this happened. They say this situation is a, quote, great reminder if you catch on fire to stop, drop, and roll. This person ended up burning mostly their leg and foot, but the burns encompass 8% of their entire body. They were taken to an area hospital initially, but they've since been taken to a burn unit in Las Vegas. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A skier in Little Cottonwood Canyon is recovering after being seriously injured in an avalanche. KSL TV's Brianna Chavez has more.
Life Flight and DPS were able to get the skier to safety. Avalanche forecaster Nikki Champion says conditions right now are a textbook setup for human-triggered avalanches to happen.
It's not like you're going to trigger it on every single slope across the board, but if you do trigger it, it's going to be like a really deep, a really deadly, and a really consequential avalanche.
Champion encourages all backcountry skiers to stay out of the avalanche terrain.
First look traffic now, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
Drivers on I-15 looking great, whether you're into or out of Salt Lake. 201 a little bit backed up out in Magna around 8400 West. And police situation has, it looks like a portion of 7800 South blocked just west of 700 East near that Harmons on 78th and 7th. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Epidemiologists are tracking a slight uptick in the case of measles. There's been a surge of cases in the United Kingdom and at least one case identified to the south of us in Arizona. Measles can be prevented with the MMR vaccine.
The next time you're getting a shot, try getting it in your other arm. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with why. Michael?
Amanda, believe it or not, but there's a new study that says if you go back and forth between your right and left arm, then you're evidently improving your immunity when it comes to shots. This is the result of a pandemic-era study recently published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation. It basically selected participants, alternated their arms for the COVID vaccine and the boosters. Within that group, researchers found they had as much as a 4-fold increase in immune response. The theory behind it all is getting a shot in a different arm activates different lymph nodes, and they're saying this will hold true for other vaccines, so try the other arm next time. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
A Utah state representative wants to make sure that the Beehive State stays beehive-friendly. Representative Rex Shipp is sponsoring a bill that would prevent cities and neighborhoods from telling people they can't keep bees.
Bees are really critical to our agriculture and our gardens and orchards.
If approved, his bill would allow anyone to have a beehive on their property, calling the dwindling bee population a problem nationwide.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowl championships in just 5 years. ABC's Alex Stone was at the game in Las Vegas.
With the Lombardi Trophy now in the hands of the Chiefs, the confetti continues to fly here as Travis Kelce was celebrating and speaking to the crowd. Taylor Swift was a face on the big screens here in the stadium as she looked on, proudly looking at her boyfriend. Chiefs fans here sticking around. They continue to celebrate.
It was the second Super Bowl to ever make it to an overtime.
Yeah, and a great one, too. It
Yeah,
almost had to go to a second quarter of overtime, which was really something. And tough for those of us that had an early wake-up call this morning. The south gate of Hill Air Force Base starting to get a little bit busy on SR 193 in Layton. It's one of the trouble spots, but one of the only. We'll check your traffic and weather together when we come back.
Spend time with KSL News Radio and get a deeper understanding of the world around us.
I do listen to KSL so much because you've got voices like Boyd Matheson.
I listen to him every day.
You can trust him.
Inside Sources, weekdays 1 to 3.
On KSL News Radio.
There are 2 amazing productions, very different productions, on the stages right now at Hale Center Theater. One is Clue, that I thoroughly enjoyed. It is a madcap comedy, and as I mentioned, it has the greatest death scene I have ever seen on the stage. Then down the hall in the theater in the round, it's Fiddler on the Roof. It is breathtaking. You are going to love both productions that are underway right now at Hale Center Theater, but there's so much more to come. May We All, a country musical, is coming up next. Then The Time Machine, The Nutty Professor, The Addams Family, which is wonderful, and The Magician's Elephant Plus. The season wraps up just before the Christmas production of A Christmas Carol, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Get your tickets now. Go to hct.org. And be sure to pick up gift cards, too. They're perfect just to slip in a thank you card. Go to hct.org.
You know that feeling? The weather starts getting colder, so you go down to check out the furnace, and you look around and think, what am I even looking at? Because you don't know how these things work with all the lights and wires and pipey things. And then you think, I bet those technicians at Whipple went to school for this. Shouldn't they be here looking at my furnace? Whipple that away. Knowing what to look for on your furnace tune-up is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. Take advantage of our $27 furnace tune-up at whipplethataway.com.
They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. You may not have that kind of time for weatherization, energy efficiency, and appliance rebates, but we do. Dominion Energy's ThermWise program has experts who know where and how to save money. They help homeowners and businesses find simple ways to conserve natural gas and rebates through upgrades that may help to save even more. We put our energy into helping you conserve it, so you can spend your 10,000 hours becoming an expert in what matters to you. Start with a home energy plan at thermwise.com.
Dominion Energy's ThermWise program experts help you save money. Start now at thermwise.com.
We have some breaking news from overnight. One person is dead, another in the hospital, a third being questioned by police after an early morning shooting in Sandy. It happened about 6th East and 7800 South. We're following up on any new details that we can share with you, so stay with KSL. 6:09, time for a look at the drive if you're out early. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy's back in the traffic center.
Well, volume's increasing a bit on the west side, especially Mountain View coming up on 35 and 4100 South at the moment. But traffic on I-15 looks good. However, we do have police activity blocking off a portion of 7800 South just west of 700 East. So there's a little bit of a traffic tie-up there. With the police situation, that could go a lot longer this morning. Jason?
Typical busyness now at the south gate of Hill Air Force Base, and looks like most of the crowding that we had at the west gate of Hill Air Force Base, that's also cleared out at this point. I-15 itself is still looking good at regular speeds, and If you're headed up into the canyons, no problems right now. 84 in both directions up through Weber Canyon. Eric?
Not many spots of congestion in Utah County on the city streets. You do have some northbound slowing on State Street as you approach University Parkway. But that's about it. That's the south part of the county, north part of the county. It's probably going to get busy later, but right now it looks good from Redwood Road over to I-15 if you're out in Eagle Mountain or Saratoga Springs. Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers. GoPave Utah is full-service parking lot paving, repair, and maintenance company servicing the Wasatch Front. Contact GoPave Utah today, gopaveutah.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be a quiet start to the work week. Temperatures this morning in the 20s and highs a little bit warmer today in the low 40s. We expect mostly sunny skies across the entire state of Utah. We'll add some more clouds as we approach the middle parts of the work week, but overall expecting dry weather to continue with highs getting close to 50 by Wednesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
Right now, 28 degrees and partly cloudy skies.
So I guess there was a skier who was in a slide up Little Cottonwood, right?
Little Cottonwood.
Over the weekend. And we're going to hear more in a moment about how this season is unique in terms of avalanche danger. Dave Kelly with the Utah Avalanche Center will explain why in just a moment here on KSL News Radio.
Make sure you stay with us. We'll always be found streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Can we talk about the Stern team for a minute?
We should talk about the Stern team.
We really should. And when I say team, there really is a team. So my husband and I just bought a condo with help from the Stern team. And there was, we worked with Cammie to go see things. And then there was another person who contacted us, Mandy, I think her name was, who would make sure that all the financial documents, because, there's a lot of documents, a lot of details around the selling or buying of a home. And they just kept us on top of everything without it becoming a pain. I don't know how they did it, to tell you the truth, but it was awesome.
They have a lot of different options, too. One we haven't talked a lot about when we mentioned the Stern team, their instant cash offer, where you can just skip all the hassles of a traditional sell and close it in as little as 7 days. They have a buy before you sell program. They've got flexible fees that we have told you about before for as little as 2% while receiving the Stern team's full-service promise plan.
I mean, this is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make, to sell your home or buy a new home. You've got to go with a team that's really on top of it, that has great success, and that's the Stern team.
Can be the most stressful thing you'll ever do in life, too, unless you enlist their help. Go to sternteam.com or just Google the Stern team.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. A little experiment here that you can try in your home just for fun. Take 2 water heaters, run hard water through one and soft water through the other, then count how many years each one lasts. Now, of course, I can save you all that trouble because the experiment takes place every day in countless homes right here in the state of Utah. The result's always the same. Hard water makes water heaters and other appliances conk out years before they should. And that's why when Dee and I built our new home, I informed the builder that we'd have Kinetico put in our soft water. I just won't settle for anything else. With Kinetico, you'll use 2/3 less salt. All the mechanical design makes it virtually maintenance-free. And I'll tell you what, your water heater and other appliances will last years longer. All you have to do is contact my friends at Kinetico of Utah, an authorized Kinetico dealer. To learn more, call Kinetico. It's 801-576-8600 or log on to softwaterutah.com.
BMW IBU World Cup Biathlon action returns to Soldier Hollow Nordic Center March 8th through 10th. Don't miss this thrilling sport featuring the world's best biathletes, combining heart-pumping ski racing with precision target shooting. Cheer on competitors from Team USA, Norway, Italy, France, Germany, Sweden, and more. General admission is free for all spectators. Premium seating tickets are also available. Get more info at IBUWorldCupUtah.com.
Hey folks, it's Doug and Kathy with Window World.
Doug, can you believe it's been 20 years?
What's been 20 years?
Well, since we opened our first Window World store.
That is amazing. Our motto today is the same: quality products, professionally installed, backed up by our awesome warranty.
And our team shares those very same values.
Come see us today. We have stores in Murray and Spanish Fork for your convenience.
Experience the Window World difference. Call 801-281-8111 or visit windowworldutah.com.
And we promise no baloney.
KSL News Time, 6:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
one person dead, one person in the hospital, and one person being questioned by police after an early morning shooting in Sandy. I'm KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
Second, two snowmobilers are expected to make a full recovery after they got stuck in steep terrain in Wasatch County. They were able to use a satellite beacon to call for help.
Third, let's check the drive with traffic and weather together.
First northbound slowdown, Bangor down around 9800 South Jordan. So far, so good on I-15, Ogden to Salt Lake. Provo to downtown. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
More sunshine is on the way, but slightly warmer. I'm Devin Mishuli.
And right now, it's 28 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for a look at our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. McCall Hardman caught the game-winning touchdown pass for the Kansas City Chiefs in last night's Super Bowl. And then
definitely blacked out for sure.
It was on ABC's Good Morning America the morning after the Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 in overtime. Most valuable player was Patrick Mahomes, as he has been in all three of the Chiefs' wins in the last 5 years.
We enjoy it every single day. We have fun. We play hard. And it's not always pretty, but we just continue to fight to the very end.
Today in Florida, former President Donald Trump's expected to attend a hearing in a secure facility in his classified documents case. He's under fire for weekend comments on the campaign trail, where he suggested he would not protect NATO allies unless they paid more in defense funds, even suggesting he would urge Russia to attack them. The EU's top diplomat, Joseph Borrell, said today in Brussels,
"Let's be serious. NATO cannot be a la carte military alliance."
There's a NATO meeting this week in Europe. It's not clear if Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will attend. He is now in the hospital for the second time this year. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
It's been described only as an emergent bladder issue, and there's no telling how much longer Lloyd Austin will remain in the ICU at Walter Reed. But his doctors say he is expected to make a full recovery from prostate cancer. The Pentagon says the Defense Secretary has transferred his duties to his deputy, Kathleen Hicks. And this time, word of Austin's hospitalization was quickly shared with the White House, the Congress, the top brass, and the public.
A woman opened fire at Lakewood Church in Houston. She was shot and killed by off-duty police officers. A 5-year-old boy with the woman was critically hurt. There's no word on a motive, but the church's pastor, Joel Osteen, said
it could have been a lot worse. Of course, we're devastated. I mean, we've been here 65 years and have somebody shooting in your church. But, you know, we don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control.
You're listening to ABC News.
All right, let's go in depth now. The good news is avalanche danger is on the decrease. The bad news is it's not gone yet in the backcountry. A skier is recovering from injuries in a slide up Little Cottonwood Canyon this weekend.
We asked Utah Avalanche Center forecaster Dave Kelly, what's making this season unique?
We've had a very interesting season where we've had a number of large storms with cold, clear periods in between the storms. And when you get cold, clear periods in between the storms, you get weakening of the snow surface. And then when that gets reburied, it becomes the next weak layer after the storm. In December, we had 25 days of cold, clear weather. And because the surface became so weak in December, we're still continuing to see avalanches that are running on that layer of facets, which is near the ground. The 6 inches of water weight or 80 inches of snow that we had last week added more weight and added more depth to the snowpack. And over time, this will heal, which means that those weak facets on the ground will start to round and we'll start to see fewer avalanches running on that layer. But right now, we're kind of on a bell curve and we're coming down off the end of a period when we were seeing a lot of avalanches, and the avalanche danger was much more in your face. And so moving forward through the week, the avalanche conditions will get safer with time, but they're just not there yet.
Avalanche danger still listed as considerable for much of the Wasatch Mountains.
Yeah, Becky and I were up Little Cottonwood to ski snowbird on Saturday.
Oh, how was that?
I don't think I've seen that many cars parked on the road in all the years I've skied at Snowbird. And many of those were backcountry skiers who were headed up there in what could be real dangerous conditions. Yeah. So make sure you know before you go. That is the In-Depth this morning at 15 and 45.
6:19, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon, Andy.
Amanda, traffic on I-15 still looking good. So this point, with the light traffic on the freeway and the good road conditions, you'll make the drive through the valley in about 18 minutes. Right now, it is a little bit busy. Bangerter around 9800 South, Mountain View at 3500 South, and there's a little portion of 78 South. It's got some police activity, and especially for westbound traffic. It's really difficult to get through. That's just about 600 East, 7800 South. Jason?
Good speeds and light volume making for a fantastic commute so far up north. It is a little crowded right now at the south gate of Hill Air Force Base. That kind of has been sporadic all morning long, but any of your major feeders over to I-15, so far they're running accident and delay free. Eric?
I-15 Utah County, no problems northbound from Provo to Point of the Mountain. That's a 20-minute drive you're getting on at University Avenue. Along the Wasatch Bank, not at the moment, not seeing any difficulties northbound from Heber City past Jordanelle Reservoir and up to Park City or to I-80. Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers. Go Pave Utah is full-service parking lot paving, repair, and maintenance company servicing the Wasatch Front. Contact Go Pave Utah today. GoPaveUtah.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The 7-day forecast calls for mostly sunny skies and a seasonable start to the work week with highs in the low 40s. We warm into the mid to upper 40s Tuesday, Wednesday. We hold the above average temperature trend for the rest of the work week, and overall it looks dry. Our only rain chance is on Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
Below the freezing mark to start the day, it's 28 degrees, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Hey, would anybody like to go see the Lakers in town on Wednesday?
Nobody, I'm sure nobody at all.
Tim and I have lower bowl tickets to give away to the Jazz Lakers game on Wednesday. You can enter to win anytime by texting the word Jazz, just by itself, J-A-Z-Z, to 57500. But tomorrow and Wednesday morning, we'll give them another chance.
Yeah, we'll have another keyword for you, 2 more this week, so you'll actually be able to get your name in 3 times. Goose and I actually sat in those lower bowl seats for a Laker game last year.
Right. That was fun.
And not a bad view, actually. So good luck. We hope you will win. And just text the word Jazz right now, J-A-Z-Z, to 57500.
Jeff Kaplan here. Every once in a while, I do my show from home, and you probably wouldn't be able to tell. I'm on KSL and sending video to the internet all at the same time because I have Xfinity Wi-Fi. It's pretty amazing because at the same time, my wife's streaming a movie, grandkids come over, one's watching YouTube, 2 are playing Minecraft, and others watching a flick, all while Grandma says, "Shh, Papa's on the air." We run all these devices, and I do a show thanks to my reliable, fast connection. Xfinity Wi-Fi is a game changer. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi on the Xfinity 10G network for a reliable connection throughout your home. Now through March 21st, new customers can get started with 1.2 gigabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Tonight on KSL, if you choose not to tip, you could pay the price. I was like, wow. KSL investigator Matt Gephardt digs into the new push to get your gratuity before any work is done.
You've already got the money. Does it change your motivation to hustle?
See how it's attracting workers.
0 tip. I was pretty much working for charity.
But at what cost to you?
It's really run amok sometimes.
What to consider before you fall into the pre-tip trap tonight at 10.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try soon. Harry's is available online and in-store at a retailer near you. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/news. That's harrys.com/news. Or check us out at your local Costco for a price you can't find anywhere else. Just look for the Chrome Razor with 13 blade refills at your local Costco. You can't miss it. Exclusive to Costco members.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Americans are slowing down the buying on toys. Sales dropped 8% last year. In just the fourth quarter, they declined 6%, the quarter that is usually their best because of winter holidays.
It's carnival season, but environmentalists are worried about the huge amount of non-biodegradable plastic beads that wind up mixed up in all of the other Mardi Gras trash. It sparked a growing effort to replace beads with other items. One New Orleans nonprofit now markets a variety of alternative parade favors, including beads made out of paper. Is that acai seeds?
Oh, I'm not sure.
And recycled glass, wooden yo-yos, and packets of locally made coffee or jambalaya mix.
Jeff Bezos is reportedly selling nearly 12 million shares of Amazon stock worth more than $2 billion. The Amazon executive chairman notified the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission last week. The stocks were grouped in 5 blocks between 1 million to more than 3.2 million.
Bezos must need a new yacht or something. The markets are mixed today, but it's basically flat. The Dow is down, but only 24 points. The S&P is up less than a point, and the NASDAQ is up just 4.25.
I read something over the weekend, Tim, that today is like the highest absentee day of the year.
I'm sure.
That's such a huge percentage of Americans call in sick.
And an overtime game probably didn't help that today. Maybe that's why the roads are lighter than normal this time of the morning.
Could be. Everybody's sleeping in. If you're up and headed out, though, the roads look good. Southbound from Ogden, northbound from Provo, everything looking good on the freeways, at least. We'll check it. Traffic and weather together next.
A story of first downs and second chances. Meet former pro football player Michael Robinson.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
And all those big league experts couldn't help?
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
Finally, he got fitted with Good Feet arch supports.
Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
Sign up for your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeet.com.
Dave and Dujanovic.
You may not be interested in everything we talk about, but I guarantee you listen for 3 hours, we're going to hit several things.
Everything from politics to how the economy is impacting your family's pocketbook.
Listen for Dave and Dujanovic 9 to noon on KSL News Radio. Imagine yourself here.
Through traffic all the way to the finish line and let it up and in.
On us. Score your tickets to Wednesday's Jazz Lakers Showdown. Listen to Utah's Morning News Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:45 for your chance to win. Jazz Lakers tickets from Utah's Morning News and KSL News Radio.
Time again for a look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. How's it going, Andy?
Well, it's going really well on the freeway. Salt Lake County, I-15, 215, and I-80. Not seeing any problems yet. Tooele County, SR-36, still running smooth from Tooele City all the way on to I-80 through Lake Point. Jason?
And mostly cleared out at the South Gate of Hill Air Force Base. Likewise, Westgate is looking pretty good now as well. And you're going to be with light volume as you travel on I-15 throughout all Weber and Davis counties. Eric?
If you're going to the Wasatch back, I-80, through Parley's Canyon looks good, as does 189 through Provo Canyon. And if you're in the Wasatch back, US 40 looks good heading north from Heber City to Park City. Down Utah County, I-15 running at a normal rate of speed. No big delay spots anywhere in that county. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Let's see what's going on for this weather forecast. Today, 43 for a high, mostly sunny. A few more clouds tomorrow, and we're in a warming trend. So we'll get up to 46 tomorrow, 47 on Wednesday. But it looks like we do have a chance of rain, slight chance on Wednesday, more of a chance on Thursday. That's our strongest chance for it. And it's 48 on Thursday. The warmest day of the next 7 will be Sunday, 49 degrees. Is that just crazy? Right now downtown, though, it is chilly, partly cloudy and 28 degrees.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 6:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
Forecasters again urging people to be careful in the backcountry today, with much of the Wasatch Mountains still facing considerable risk of avalanches.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small joins us live with details. Adam?
Amanda, the danger for avalanches is still considerable in the mountains from Salt Lake to Provo and moderate around Ogden. Utah Avalanche Center forecaster Dave Kelly says we had a number of human-triggered avalanches this weekend, and it's not just because of all the new snow. The snowpack base 2 months into winter is still very weak.
December, we had 25 days of cold, clear weather, and because the surface became so weak in December, we're still continuing to see avalanches that are running on that layer of.
Kelly says the danger will go down as we work through the week, but for now, avoid angles of 30 degrees or greater, and as always, bring a buddy, shovel, beacon, and probe. Live Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
At least one avalanche over the weekend resulted in a skier needing a rescue. That skier up Little Cottonwood Canyon suffered serious injuries, but is expected to recover. In a separate rescue, 2 snowmobilers needed help after they got stranded in steep terrain in Wasatch County. Researchers say they started a fire to keep themselves warm and then used a satellite beacon to call for help.
Forecasters say we're likely going to head into a La Nina pattern by the summer. National Weather Service spokesperson Erica Groche tells KSL at Night it all has to do with the sea surface temperature of the equatorial Pacific.
El Nino is when that sea surface temperature is warmer than average for a certain length of time. So at least 1 degree warmer than average for at least 3 months consecutively. La Nina is the exact opposite.
Typically, it indicates the overall temperatures of the year. She says El Nino years, like the one we're just wrapping up, are warmer, and La Nina years are cooler. Last year's record snowfall came courtesy of a La Nina pattern.
Now our top national stories this hour. Former President Trump under fire after saying he would not protect NATO allies unless they pay their share in defense funds. We get more from ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
Nikki Haley condemning Trump's threat.
The last thing we want to do is break up that alliance. Yes, we want them to pay more, but that is not the way you get them to do it.
Haley is also questioning Trump's mental capacity after Trump questioned her husband's military service, insinuating Haley's husband deployed to Africa to get away from her.
What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
We need to have mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75.
Mr. Trump is being criticized for even suggesting that he'd urge Russia to attack NATO countries who don't meet their defense spending.
Economists are not seeing a recession in the near future, but business leaders are still worried. ABC's Daria Albinger reports.
Respondents to the National Association for Business Economics' latest policy survey are encouraged by what's going on here in the U.S.
Most respondents are seeing a soft landing. They don't see a recession this year or next.
But economist Elaine Buckberg, who is part of NAME's advisory panel, says tensions abroad have them worried.
They're increasingly concerned about geoeconomic risk, especially as related to the Middle East and a potential China-Taiwan conflict.
She adds those concerns are amplified since this is an election year. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Clarifying a story we brought you last week, a Utah Republican is trying to make sure that your privacy is protected while police can still use online genealogy databases to help solve crime. Senator Todd Weiler is drafting legislation toward that end now.
What I'm interested in moving forward with genetic privacy data laws that would not further victimize grieving families, but rather provide a better level of protection on for their genetic data.
State law already requires you to be able to opt in or out of your data being used by law enforcement. The draft bill would just tweak some of those protections.
First look traffic now on a Monday morning, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
Amanda, we're still holding up pretty well without any crashes on freeways or city streets causing any backups just yet. The only thing that's affecting any traffic out of the ordinary, 7800 South, 600 East, where we've got some police activity, making it really difficult for traffic to go west from 7th East down towards State. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A Utah lawmaker wants to make property taxes more accurate for commercial properties. Now, commercial brokers are trying to get ahead of him. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnson explains live. Peter?
Tim, the process for choosing a property tax for homes versus commercial buildings differs in one key way. Whereas county assessors can base a home's property tax level on its real market value, they don't have that information for commercial buildings. That results in assessors taking a guess at what the commercial property might be worth, but bill sponsor and State Senator Dan McKay says these guesses often lowball and put more burden on homeowners to make up for the difference. State Senator Dan McKay is running a bill for the second year in a row that would make real estate brokers give these property tax setters the actual market value of a commercial property. Brokers have responded by meeting with assessors all along the Wasatch Front to work out a possible compromise. That's according to Building Salt Lake. For now, the bill is in a holding pattern. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
The Utah Homebuyers Assistance Program has been going for 7 months now. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with where the program is standing. Michael?
Amanda, out of the $50 million set aside to help first-time homeowners pay a down payment, $38 million remains, and nearly 500 people have reserved funds to purchase a new home, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. And those were usually townhomes or condos. Now, single-family homes are still out of many price ranges, but this could mean duplexes, triplexes, or accessory dwelling units could help housing become more sustainable and more localized to workplaces. As for the program's future, Senate President Stuart Adams believes the demand for first-time homebuyers will grow as interest rates lower. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
The Kansas City Chiefs are being called a dynasty now with another Super Bowl win.
Long after the game was over, Chiefs fans like Melanie Miller, who lives in Missouri, were celebrating with others in red and gold here, cheering on the players as they were with family on the field.
I'm feeling fantastic. I'm so excited to be here and to celebrate the Chiefs win. This is amazing. I'm so proud of who we are, what we did.
Some of these fans spent time scooping up confetti to bring it home to remember the third Chiefs win in 5 years. Alex Stone, ABC News at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
Were you going for the Chiefs or for the Niners?
I wanted to, well, I didn't really have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
But I really thought if Brock Purdy could find a way to win this game, it would be the best story in a long, long time in the NFL. And it came close. But it came down to turnovers.
Yes, right.
And that one,
from the very beginning to the end, turnovers were the problem.
The defense of San Francisco was winning the game all night long, and then that one turnover that on the punt that hit the back leg of one of the 49ers players and got away from him just turned the whole game around.
Man, could you believe that first fumble after they made such great yardage up the field? And is it McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Who then he fumbled at the end of that series, and that was a bummer.
There were, and it always comes down to that, doesn't it? Those little things that make a big difference.
Little things.
Coming up in just a minute, we'll check your traffic and weather together here on KSL. Let me just check and see what the guys are saying. We had a pretty good morning going so far, but Tooele County now starting to fill on northbound SR 36. West Valley also getting a little busier. We'll check traffic next.
Bigger stories demand more accountability, more experience, more trust.
If it's like an election day or we're expecting some bad weather, KSL presents the story. Unbiased. It's a good local source.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
If you've ever experienced running out of hot water before your shower was done or hard water spots on dishes and fixtures, I've got a deal you might be interested in. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and you probably already know that a tankless water heater and a water softener solve both issues. If you've ever thought about looking into getting a tankless water heater, here's the deal I was talking about. Through the end of February, we're including a free water softener with every new tankless water heater we install. The best part of this deal might be that you never have to worry about being the last one to the shower again, or that you don't have to waste the money keeping 40 to 50 gallons of water hot 24/7. To take advantage of this deal, call Any Hour Services before the end of February. The visit's free and there's no obligation to buy. If you decide to have us install a new tankless water heater, we'll throw in the water softener for free. That's right, a free water softener when you purchase a tankless water heater. Pick up the phone and call Any Hour Services right now for all the details. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This Friday from 10 to 1, the movie show comes to Sound Sleep Medical. But first, take the time to learn about a better night's rest. Sound Sleep Medical delivers oral appliance therapy that treats sleep apnea without the use of CPAP machines. They're professionally fit, warranted, and covered by most major medical insurance. In the days of a poor night's sleep, Sound Sleep Medical will help. Call Sound Sleep Medical at 801-716-8672 for details. Sound Sleep Medical.
As the new year begins, you and your credit card might be ready for a quiet break. Experience the relief of a low rate with the Mountain America credit card. With a 3% cash bonus on balance transfers, it's more relaxing than ever. Open a Mountain America credit card today for your limited time bonus. Details at macu.com/transfer. Loans and approved credit. Membership required based on eligibility. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
If you're just joining us this morning, we had some breaking news overnight. One person has died, another in the hospital. Police questioning a third of a shooting in Sandy that happened 7800 South up about 6th East, somewhere around 3:30 this morning. We're continuing to work to get more details.
6:39 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And we go back over to you, Andy.
Amanda traveled on I-15, still clear from Draper to downtown, but a little bit heavy on SR 201 at Redwood, and then again at Bangerter Highway. Surprisingly, that's in the westbound direction. Bangerter beginning to slow a little bit at 47 South Taylorsville. Tooele County, traffic waiting at the traffic lights through Stansbury Park. So far, that's about all between Tooele City and Lake Point. Jason?
All clear and smooth sailing so far. 89 Legacy in the West Side Belt. They're moving right along at regular speeds. No problems on I-15 either. You're going to be looking at about a 29 to 30-minute travel time still between Ogden and Salt Lake City. Eric?
Northbound on the 215 East Belt, no problems. So running alongside Mount Olympus, getting up to the mouth of Parley's Canyon. Continue north on Foothill Drive. No trouble there going up towards the University of Utah. And I-80 out into the mountains. That's looking good if you're going to Park City. I-15 Utah County, likewise, northbound and southbound. Use Superior Water and Air for all your HVAC and plumbing needs. Call 974-9090 or visit SuperiorWaterandAir.com. Superior Water and Air, we got this. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's a chilly start this morning with temperatures in the 20s. Highs today will be near average in the low 40s, and we'll have mostly sunny skies all throughout the day. Highs get warmer each day. We approach 50 by Wednesday, and the only thing we're looking out for is just some passing clouds. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
Still below the freezing mark this morning, 28 degrees.
Good Morning America sat down with the Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, McCole Hardman, and he shared some of his thoughts about last night. We're going to share part of that interview with you just ahead on KSL.
Time now, though, for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, and it's brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
How about lemons instead of roses for Valentine's Day? You think?
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat.
Now hang on. Valentine's is just a few days away, and you know, millions of people buy those conversation hearts. Billions of the little candies will be sold this year, printed with those pithy phrases like text me and be mine. But in the marketing game, if you're not growing your business, you're failing. So this year, if you'll be nuzzled up against a pet instead of a person, they're selling animal-themed candy hearts with expressions like lovebirds or perfect. There's one that says big dog. Just a heads up, though, if your date is a dog or cat, they can't eat chocolate, and you should make sure any candy you share with the pooch doesn't contain the ingredient xylitol. It's with an X, a sugar substitute. But if your date is a pet, best to stick with Candlelight and Meatloaf. Who am I to judge? But Sweethearts has gone one step further this year with their marketing. You know that sometimes you get a candy heart with a garbled misprint. It just reads, This year, Sweethearts has scooped up all the rejects and they're selling them as situationship hearts for relationships that, like the printing, are murky and undefined. This is almost literally taking lemons and making lemonade.
Lemon tree, very pretty.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
I hadn't heard that song forever.
Do you go out on Valentine's night? Is that something you guys
Usually,
do?
yeah, but, you know, when it happens on a Wednesday, it's a little more difficult for us than it used to be.
A lot of people celebrate on the weekend,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Well, that was fun. And, of course, Jeff's Minute of News is brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox. IRS harassing you? The law offices of Jordan Wilcox can help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Back in 2004, got a letter from the IRS indicating that I was no longer married and therefore they were to change my filing status to single.
We were really upset.
I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. Listen to what actual clients have had to say about working with us.
As soon as we met Jordan and he started talking to us, number one, he made us feel like we weren't the imbeciles that the IRS had made us feel like for so many years.
I'm Jordan Wilcox. Let's solve your IRS tax nightmare.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Visit taxhelput.com or call 801-657-5951 to schedule your free consultation today.
We can move forward with confidence and assurance that we're okay.
That's taxhelput.com.
It's marvelous, just marvelous.
KSL News Time, 6:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
forecasters are urging people to be extra careful in the backcountry today, with avalanche danger still listed as considerable for much of the Wasatch Mountains. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, police say one person is in the hospital, one person died, and a third is being questioned after an early morning shooting in Sandy.
Third, let's check the drive with traffic and weather together.
201 a little bit slow right now near 5600 west in the westbound direction. Northbound Bangor at 3500 south. And it's at freeway speed so far on I-15 either direction to Salt Lake. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be a seasonable start to the work week. I'm Devin Mishuli.
And right now it's 28 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's get a look at our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Some European leaders say that former President Trump's weekend comments about not protecting NATO allies were just campaign rhetoric. But ABC's Eric Katursky says the former president's not on the campaign trail today. He'll be in Florida for a hearing in his classified documents case.
Former President Trump is expected here for a closed-door hearing about classified information at the heart of this case. And the hearing's going to take place in a secure room that's designed to manage the kind of highly sensitive material that former President Trump is accused of mishandling.
The special counsel probe that cleared President Biden of criminal wrongdoing in his own handling of classified documents also renewed focus on his age. And an ABC News Ipsos poll finds 86% of Americans believe he's too old to serve a second term. Israeli forces rescued 2 hostages in a raid in Gaza. The Hamas-controlled Gaza Health Ministry says at least 67 Palestinians were killed. This is ABC News.
All right, let's go in depth. This is going to be fun. The Kansas City Chiefs making history in Vegas on Sunday, becoming the first team to win back-to-back Super Bowls in 2 decades.
Good Morning America spoke to Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver McCole Hardman and congratulated him on the team's 3rd Super Bowl win.
Man, 3 times sounds good, right? 3rd time the charm, they say, huh?
And you were the charm. You were the charm. I heard you say that you blacked out after the game-winning catch? You didn't even realize what you had done?
I didn't know. I blacked out for a second, and I seen Pat run to me. I'm like, okay, it's time to celebrate now. So, yeah, I definitely blacked out for sure.
At one point, of course, you guys were down by 10 points in the game. What turned it around for you?
You know, I really don't know. It's really was just, you know, the composure, you know, having guys like Trav and Pat just bringing everybody together, and, you know, we just come together as a team and just doing what needed to be done to get the job done. So once we did that, everything happened how it's supposed to.
So what do you think about going into overtime like that, though? Only the 2nd time in Super Bowl history.
Yeah, I heard that, man. And whenever they took the ball, they received the ball, that's when I was like, I don't know if they should have did that one, because now you're just going to give us, you know, the formula of what we need to do to win the game. So I think that's kind of was the mistake in there. But, you know, they kicked the field goal, we needed to score, and that's what we did.
And, yeah, they did. So they kicked the field goal. All right, now it's your turn. You have Patrick Mahomes. Was that just knowing that you couldn't lose, knowing that he was your QB in that situation?
Man, I just feel like he done did it so many times, and those pressure moments, like who else would you want to have in that moment right there besides him? And what he did, I think, was 69 yards, like every pass was completed and running with his legs. I think he led the team in rushing as well. I mean, the things he do in those pressure moment situations is top to none, and I wouldn't rather have nobody else in that moment.
I'm sure, and he's an MVP for the 3rd time. He's got 3 rings and 3 MVP titles. in the Super Bowl. We heard from Travis Kelce after the game, after he was yelling, Viva Las Vegas after that, but he was talking about a three-peat, already talking about a three-peat. That's never happened before. Are you guys going to do it?
Oh, it never happened?
No, it's never been a three-peat.
Man.
No.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I thought the Dolphins might have did this back in the day. But you know what? I'd be grateful to be able to return to this team and to play again with them. So if that's in the cards, I love for that to happen. But a three-peat would be something nice for sure.
And Niners fans have nothing to feel.
Oh, no.
I mean, of course they wanted to win, but man, they played well yesterday.
But we know this as Jazz fans. When you get to the ultimate, like we got to the finals of the NBA and you lose it, it hurts.
Especially if you lose it in overtime. That's painful.
Even if it was close, it hurts. But here's the thing, the amazing thing about Kansas City, they've won 3 of the last 5, and they've been down 10 points in each of the games they won.
Yeah.
So they always seem to find a way.
Yeah.
And last night was sort of textbook for the way they have been going about their business lately. But I know we've got some blurry-eyed listeners out there this morning. Let's get a look at the drive with traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy's back in the traffic center.
Well, if you're on I-15 in Salt Lake County, you've got a great drive in both directions right now. I've been keeping an eye on the west side where traffic's filling in on Mountain View and Bangerter through the West Valley portion. Starting to look like a typical weekday, but thankfully weather not a factor, so no extra slowdowns. Drive time's pretty average so far through Salt Lake County. Jason?
So far, the volumes have not increased southbound on I-15. We're not seeing any typical delays through Layton and Kaysville. It's running still very clear through those two cities right now, and basically all the way down into the Salt Lake Valley. It's going to be running at regular speeds, 70 plus miles an hour, and take you about 29 to 30 minutes to go from Ogden to Salt Lake. Eric?
University Avenue, 500 West, both of those northbound, southbound. Starting to see a little bit more congestion in Provo at some of the stoplights, and State Street in Orem, northbound approaching 800 North. That's also a little bit busy. Overall, though, it's a pretty good drive throughout the county. On the freeway from Payson to Point of the Mountain, that's a 28-minute drive. All machines are discounted during the embroidery sale at Dave's Bernina in St. George and Provo. 48 months, no interest, and amazing buy a machine, get free gift offers. Great bargains on previously loved machines. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The beginning of the 7-day forecast is quiet. We expect mostly sunny skies for your Monday with highs in the low 40s. We warm up each day, so we'll be in the mid to upper 40s Tuesday and Wednesday. A chance of rain Thursday that'll slightly cool us down, but then we're back into the mid to upper 40s with quiet weather to close out the work week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mashuli.
And right now, 28 degrees, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
You know what we haven't talked a lot about today was Super Bowl ads.
Oh, yeah.
From last night. Do you have favorites?
Well, I didn't like all of the celebrity ones. Just celebrities doing stupid things. How many celebrities can we put in the same ad and have them do stupid things? That just didn't do anything for me.
Well,
but there were a couple of good ones.
They packed a lot of them in the Dunkin' Donuts ad with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Tom Brady and
That's probably
Jennifer
the best
of
that genre.
That one's getting a lot of attention this morning. Schwarzenegger doing his neighbor.
Yeah.
State Farm, your good neighbor. That one's also getting attention. The one that really got my eye was the Kia ad with the little girl skater, where she's on the ice and she wins. She looks up into the stands, and her dad is sitting there with an empty chair beside her.
The grandfather isn't there.
And Granddad's not there. So he loads her in the car, takes her to Granddad's house. He's obviously in a wheelchair, couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And so they crank up the lights from the EV vehicle and shine it on the ice so that she can give that same performance for her granddad who's watching through the window.
That was a beautiful one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that.
Some good ones last night. If you have favorites, 57500. I'd like to hear which ones you liked from Super Bowl night. We'll check money news next.
Maybe Washington didn't ski. Maybe Lincoln didn't shred. Okay, could be, but I know they'd have no objections to you taking a run in their honor. So get ready. President's Weekend at Bear Lake is simply the best of Utah and the best place to celebrate our president's big days. You'll uncover 3 of the most beautiful cross-country and snowshoeing trails in Utah. Or jump into a snowmobile and catch some awesome trails and over 350 miles of backcountry snowmobiling. No matter how you like your winter sports, Bear Lake is ready, and President's Weekend is the perfect time to celebrate. So pack up the family and play your way. And when you choose President's Day to play in the snow, you'll find family-friendly getaway and lodging deals, too. Start at bearlake.org and learn more about President's Day at Bear Lake. bearlake.org. Lodging, activities, family events, even ice fishing. It's winter at its best, all at Bear Lake. Visit bearlake.org for details. bearlake.org.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get
the power of doing it right.
Detailed project proposals, excellent customer service, and trusted professionals who get the job done on time and on budget.
The power of experience.
We're kings of the scaffolding and pros with the stucco. We've been there, done that. Get your project started at CertaPro.com and get
the power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Americans ate more than 1 billion wings for the Super Bowl last night. The National Chicken Council says the 1.45 billion wings is enough for every person in the U.S. to eat 4 wings each and stretches 1/3 of the way to the moon.
Uber is making changes to its Super Bowl commercial after claims that it made fun of food allergies. I don't think I saw this one. The Food Allergy Research and Education Charity asked the company to edit out a part that featured a man having an allergic reaction to peanut butter. The charity says the joke was inappropriate. I don't remember that one.
I don't know, but it sounds like a miss.
Yeah.
More than 380,000 Frigidaire refrigerators have been recalled after multiple reports of plastic in the ice bucket. The company says a piece of the ice machine is fragile and can easily break, leading to a choking hazard.
Let's get a look now at your money at this moment. The Dow futures off 46. That's 0.1%. S&P futures down 1. That's just a fraction. NASDAQ futures off 9, which is also a fraction.
All right, let's take a look at what their guys are telling us in the traffic center here. Tooele County starting to fill in now. Northbound SR 36. Also, I-15 and the other freeways looking good so far. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Jeff Kaplan. I'm energized by breaking news. First of all, because it's right now, and second of all, because in many cases the audience needs to know. There's no more important service that we can provide, and I find it critically important to get more details to the audience as quickly as possible. There's nothing more energizing than that for me. Not at all. The most important thing we do is breaking news. I am gratified that so many people listen to me every afternoon on KSL, but what they don't know is that there are so many people behind the scenes making it happen, checking on the traffic, answering the phones, making the calls, talking to the newsmakers. They're out in the street, into the field to get the raw information, and then putting it all together so that I can sit in front of a microphone and be a source of information every afternoon. But there are so many people who make it happen. That's what you don't know.
Ride Home with Jeff Kaplan, weekdays 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic here. You hear us every weekday on KSL from 9 to noon.
But have you listened to our podcast?
We're running a secret contest just for podcast listeners.
You could win a new pair of AirPod Pros every week in February just for listening.
Here's how you do it. Find our show on KSLpodcast.com
or wherever you listen to podcasts and listen for the keywords.
When you hear one, text it to 57500 and you'll be in to win.
That's it. We'll see you on our podcast, Dave and Dujanovic, with KSL News Radio.
6:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
All right, right now I-15 looking great through the valley, but it's 201 that's beginning to fill in out in Magna, plus slowdowns on Mountain View and Bangerter as you come up on the 21st South Freeway. That's going to be your heaviest stretch of traffic. And we still have a portion of 7800 South blocked off westbound just after 700 East, about 600 East because of police activity. Jason?
And seeing a little increase of volume northbound on Hillfield Road as you head toward the south gate of Hill Air Force Base. The gate itself, though, is looking pretty clear at this point. And there's no problems right now on 89 Legacy in the West Side Belt. Those are also accident delay-free, have been all morning long. Likewise, I-15 is looking really good also. Eric?
Well, we do have a crash reported northbound I-15 in Utah County in Linden. Actually, we have a couple of crashes there, one on the left shoulder and one on the right shoulder. Right now, not seeing any delays going through there, so let's hope that, well, now I am starting to see some delays. That's how fast that can happen. Approaching the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit the rest of the way up to Point of the Mountain looks good if you're in Utah County. When you choose Performance Automotive in Bountiful, you're choosing selection. 4 locations: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country. See it all at performancebountiful.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
43 with plenty of sunshine today. The clouds will start to move back in, bringing some precipitation with them, it looks like, on Thursday. It's 28 degrees now in Salt Lake City.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 7 o'clock on Utah's Morning News. Good morning, I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story on the 7 o'clock report.
The family of a woman run over and killed by her drunk husband is suing Delta for serving him alcohol when he was already under the influence.
KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston is live on the scene at Salt Lake City International. Peter?
Amanda, Charlotte Sturgeon's family is accusing Delta of serving her husband, Joseph Dalton, 2 drinks, despite already taking some beverages before the flight, too. Dalton's blood alcohol level was far higher than what's allowed in Utah, according to a legal document filed by the Sturgeon family. Charlotte was later outside the car when Joseph allegedly hit her and ran her over at the airport while their minor child was in the car. The plaintiffs are relying on a part of Utah code that holds any individual liable for serving someone alcohol who is already under the influence. In return, the plaintiffs want restitution from Dalton to cover costs for medical and funeral expenses, plus lost earnings and emotional damage. Reporting live from the Salt Lake City International Airport, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
We have resources to help prevent domestic violence available on our website at kslnewsradio.com.
A current Boeing employee is claiming that employees don't follow basic procedures. Cairo 7 TV's Brittany Chavez talked with a former employee to see if those claims lined up.
Am I surprised? Not at all.
That's Ed Pearson, a former Boeing employee turned whistleblower, agreeing with allegations of neglect and failure to follow procedures made by a current Boeing employee at the Everett plant.
Those are very similar. The way you described it, the issues with people signing stuff off and maybe not doing it properly, not following the procedures, process breakdowns.
Boeing responded to the allegation, saying they will continue to investigate.
We now know the identity of one of the victims in a charter plane crash near Moab. He's been identified as a resident of Western Washington State.
He was an avid sportsman, like windsurfing and kite surfing and wingboarding and mountain biking and dirt bike riding.
But those who knew Darren Tao,
we did a lot of hiking together and a tremendous amount of sailing together and became very, very good friends.
Would also argue the avid sailor was a one-of-a-kind friend.
He was kind of the ringleader and larger than life.
Sadly, Tao's friends say he was one of the 2 people on board the plane that crashed near the border of Utah and Colorado on Wednesday. Both he and the other person didn't survive.
That's Cairo 7 TV reporter Jake Chapman. The plane was on its way from Grand Junction to Tacoma. We do not know yet the identity of the second victim.
2 people made it out safely after their small airplane suffered engine failure over the weekend, and they had to make an emergency landing in Spanish Fork. The plane came to a rest in a front yard near 500 West and 1000 North on Saturday afternoon. No one was hurt either in the plane or on the ground.
Updating our breaking news out of Sandy earlier this morning, where one person is dead after a shooting on 7800 South near 6th East. Sergeant Greg Moffitt tells us they got the call around 3:30 this morning about some kind of dispute between at least 3 or 4 people.
One of them produced a firearm and ended up shooting 2 individuals. We do have a male in his 30s that is deceased on scene. Another male in his 20s that is being treated at a local hospital in stable condition with a gunshot wound.
Moffitt says 2 people are in custody now for questioning. He could not say what led up to the dispute.
KSL's top national stories this hour. 2 people injured, including a 5-year-old boy, after a woman opened fire inside a famous Texas church. Lakewood Church in Houston is the home of celebrity pastor Joel Osteen. Osteen said it happened just before an afternoon service was supposed to begin.
I can only imagine if it would have happened during the 11 o'clock service. We were in between services going into the Spanish service, so, if there's anything good of it, you know what, she didn't get in there and do a whole lot worse damage. So we thank God for that. He's watching over all of us.
The 5-year-old who came in with the shooter is in critical condition. 2 off-duty officers killed the shooter.
Authorities in Hurricane had to rush to help someone who set themselves on fire after using gasoline on their campfire over the weekend. KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with details. Adam?
Amanda, Hurricane Valley Fire and Rescue says this person ended up sustaining 2nd and 3rd degree burns to 8% of their body, mostly concentrated around their leg and foot. Along with the severe burns, the person accidentally started several other fires in the yard, leading crews to issue a reminder to everyone, if this ever happens to you, stop, drop, and roll. The person was taken to an area hospital initially, but later had to be transported to a burn unit in Las Vegas. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic on the 7 o'clock report. Andy, that Linden camera looks like we've got a stack up going on right now.
Yeah, we do. It's backed up because of a crash in Linden. In fact, it's just before the Pleasant Grove exit. It's over to the left shoulder as far as they can get it. But again, the slowdown stretching back towards 1600 North and Orange. That's the only delay on the freeway in Utah County. And so far, Redwood not seeing much more than that going out of Utah County. Rest of the freeways also holding up pretty well. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
New numbers show increasing numbers of Americans are paying off their mortgages. Right now, about 39% of all homeowners are mortgage-free. But Utah has the 3rd lowest number of mortgage-free homes, in part because of skyrocketing housing costs.
Just under 70% of Utah homeowners are still paying mortgages on their homes, according to data from Consumer Affairs. It reports that part of this is due to high home prices, with the income needed to afford a house in Salt Lake City nearly doubling from 2020 to 2022. Their data shows St. George currently has the highest mortgage-free rate of homes in the state, while homes in the Provo-Orem area have the lowest rates at only 28.4%. Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
I guess that makes sense. We were talking last week about the fact that there's more 65-year-olds right now than have ever been.
Mm-hmm.
So those folks, as they reach retirement, are paying off their homes.
Yeah, if they didn't keep refinancing, it's over now.
Yeah. A bill to house inmates with their biological sex at birth is advancing in the legislature. House Majority Whip Carrie Ann Lisenby is the sponsor. She told KSL at Night there are some exceptions.
If they are reassigned in accordance with all of those provisions, then the correctional facility is required to conduct frequent individualized security analysis to ensure that it remains low risk.
Those provisions include lots of security and safety audits.
A new study is showing how alternating your arms for vaccination may just help you fight diseases. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live with that story. Michael?
Amanda, when doctors ask you if you'd rather get a shot in your right arm or your left arm, you're probably not thinking too much about it. But now, researchers at Oregon Health and Science University say going back and forth between your arms for booster shots actually increases your immunity. The theory goes a shot in different arms actually activates different lymph nodes. This all comes from a pandemic-era study where people alternated their arms for the vaccine and the boosters. They found participants who swapped arms showed a stronger response to Omicron 1 year after, and it looks like the principle applies to other vaccines too, so now you know. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
In sports, the Kansas City Chiefs fans have celebrated all night, no doubt, in Las Vegas after the team's Super Bowl victory.
Terry became emotional while watching the team celebrate on the field.
The team has a lot of heart, and I just love that. I've been watching since I was a little girl. My dad passed away, and he was a big Chief fan, and I watched him growing up with him, so it means the world to me that they're doing this.
And at the game, her daughter told her she's expecting a baby, making the victory that much more special. Alex Stone, ABC News at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
Looking for something to do with your sweetheart this week? A new ranking shows Utahns love their rom-coms.
That love, true love,
According to a study by PR Hub, Pretty Woman, When Harry Met Sally, or Clueless sit at the top of most states, but not here in Utah.
Oh, my sweet Wesley, what have I done?
At the top of our list is The Princess Bride, that sweet fantasy story of Wesley and Buttercup separated when he leaves to find fame and fortune and brought back together just in time to save her from an ill-fated marriage to Prince Humperdinck.
True love is the greatest thing in the world.
Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
I was just looking at some of the quotes from that movie.
Yeah.
Because the one I always think of is, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You kill my father. Prepare to die."
Prepare to die.
But there are so many good ones that I've forgotten about. Like, please consider me as an alternative to suicide. I mean, this is true love. You think this happens every day? I mean, there's so many good ones.
That's great stuff. All right, 7:09. Let's see how the roads are doing out there with traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. We go back to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, right now, I-15 is running a little bit slow as you come up past 123rd South. Not sure what's happening in Sandy, but that's a little odd delay to pop up right now. Coming out of Tooele, I-80 clear until you hit just before 5600 West. There's a bit of a heavy stretch in that long portion between Saltaire and the airport. Jason?
No odd delays on I-15 in Weber and Davis counties. In fact, no delays at all. If we had them in Layton and Kaysville, those would be typical, but they're not there right now. Likewise, 89 Legacy Westside Belt, they're all moving along at regular speeds. No problems in and out of your canyons. Weber, Ogden, and Sardine canyons are running smoothly this morning. Eric?
Well, in Utah County, the crash we had up against the left barrier in Linden, northbound I-15, has been cleared, but we still have some slowing going through there as a result. That'll probably clear up pretty quickly. At least we hope so. It is that part of the morning where things start getting most busy for the morning commute. Right now, you're looking at about a 26-minute drive from Spanish Fork up to Point of the Mountain, getting over to the freeway from Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, starting to get busier on Mountain View Corridor, turning into 2100 North as you head from Redwood Road over to the freeway. Call 866-0RES and say you want the KSL special. $33 per room cleaned and $50 off air duct cleaning. 0RES. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're off to a chilly start this morning with temperatures in the mid-20s and mostly sunny skies. Around lunchtime, we expect a few passing clouds, temperatures close to 40. Then highs this Monday afternoon will top out in the low 40s. With your 7 o'clock hour report, I'm Devin Mashuli.
Still 28 degrees downtown.
So former President Trump at a rally last night said of NATO members who have not met their target of 2% of their budget to support the military, he said, "You didn't pay, you're delinquent. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You've got to pay. You've got to pay your bills." That is causing enormous controversy. We're going to speak with Boyd Matheson about it just ahead on KSL News Radio.
KSL weather now with Devin Mashuli. Things are going to warm up a little bit this week.
The quiet weather that we had over the weekend is going to continue into the work week. We expect mostly sunny skies for your Monday. After starting off in the mid-20s, highs will be near average in the low 40s. Tuesday, we get a touch warmer as highs climb into the mid-40s, possibly the upper 40s by Wednesday.
Could be some rain coming our way on Thursday.
We've headed into a La Nina pattern, according to forecasters who track the trends. National Weather Service spokesperson Erica Groche tells KSL at 9, our last La Nina made last year's snowpack one for the books, while this winter so far has been all about El Nino.
Typically, La Nina patterns do not deliver a lot of rain and snow for you, but that year it did. This year, the El Nino pattern did bring some of those so-called atmospheric river events that helped to drive the moisture into Southern California, even through the Central Valley of California and into the desert Southwest.
The Utah Climate Center says it's hard to tell exactly what the weather phenomena mean for Utah because we're in what's known as a saddle point, which means states north and south of us know what to expect, but we could go either way.
The mascot for the Olympic Winter Games in Italy has been unveiled. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The mascots will be a pair of weasels, more specifically stoats. They're known for their luxurious pelts that turn white in the winter. Milo and Tina are named after the two host cities in Italy. The weasel siblings are the ideal animals to embody the contemporary Italian spirit, according to the International Olympic Committee. The Italy Winter Games won't be until 2026, but the merchandise is already being produced. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Trending this hour on the 7 o'clock report, Beyonce is back with 2 new country tracks, Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no
I did not know she did country.
Well, see, Taylor Swift came from the countryside to the pop side. Beyonce says, I can do that too. I'll go the other way.
Oh, my gosh. A Verizon commercial starring Beyonce aired during the Super Bowl and ended with the superstar saying the world is ready for new music. That's interesting.
Oh. A few different movie trailers also dropped during the game last night.
Something has changed within me.
The first trailer for Wicked, starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, came out. So did the third movie in the Deadpool series called Deadpool and Wolverine.
We loved both of those trailers so much.
And I think both of them sent you to the internet
to watch the whole thing.
watch the whole trailer.
Yeah.
So great stuff last night. KSL News Time, 7:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a Hurricane resident is now receiving treatment in a burn unit after they used gasoline on their campfire over the weekend. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, one person is dead, one person in the hospital, and one person is being questioned by police after an early morning shooting in Sandy.
third, it's a look at traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic is right now running pretty smooth from Point of the Mountain up to Sandy, but you'll see a little bit of delay in Sandy. And then we've got a crash on I-15 over to the left in Linden on North 15 that's got traffic slow back towards Orem. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
More sunshine is on the way, but slightly warmer. I'm Devin Mishuli.
Right now, it's 28 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for a look at our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Classified documents are a major issue in the race for the White House, and today former President Trump is expected to attend a hearing in Fort Pierce, Florida, in his classified documents case that was brought by the special counsel Jack Smith. ABC's Aaron Katersky is outside the courthouse.
Trump has pleaded not guilty, and he's attacked this case as selective prosecution after a different special counsel declined to charge President Biden with keeping classified documents. Special counsel Robert Hur noted differences in the two cases, most notably Biden's cooperation with investigators and Trump's alleged lack of it.
The report that cleared President Biden did, though, renew scrutiny on his age, as 86% of people in an ABC News Ipsos poll say the 82-year-old is too old to serve another term. The former president also found controversy on the campaign trail over the weekend. He said he would not protect NATO allies unless they paid more of a share in defense funds. He even suggested he would otherwise urge Russia to attack them. ABC's Rihanna Nally has more.
Nikki Haley condemning Trump's threat.
The last thing we want to do is break up that alliance. Yes, we want them to pay more, but that is not the way you get them to do it.
Haley is also questioning Trump's mental capacity after Trump questioned her husband's military service, insinuating Haley's husband deployed to Africa to get away from her.
What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
We need to have mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75.
It's not clear if Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will attend a NATO meeting this week. He's back at Walter Reed Medical Center for what's being called a bladder issue. The Pentagon says he's transferred his duties to his deputy. Israel raided a building in Rafah to rescue two hostages. Geffen Siegel's the niece of one of the two men, now recovering.
It was very emotional to see them, to hug them, to feel them. It feels almost unreal.
You're listening to ABC News.
And as you just heard, former President Donald Trump facing some backlash this morning after saying this.
Oh, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
Them being Russia in this case. Joining us live in studio is the host of Inside Sources, Boyd Matheson. What should this mean to voters?
Well, it's clearly in the suboptimal category. It's not good for anyone. It's not good for our allies around the world, but it is good for our enemies around the world. Not just Vladimir Putin, by the way. This also emboldens President Xi in China. Tehran always takes a little cue from that as well. And so I think there's a couple of important things that we have to step back from just the rhetoric of it all. That's the easy thing to just swing at. There are some things that do need to be addressed in terms of the UN and people who haven't paid their fair share, so to speak. That should never risk in terms of the unity and the charter of NATO. So I think that's one thing you have to step back and say, okay, there's a lot of those countries who haven't been paying along the way. The U.S. has carried and shouldered the burden of NATO for a very long time. So that's kind of one component to it. The other is just making sure that we understand and have that connection with our allies because they have to have confidence that the U.S. is going to be there for them in the end.
Yeah. Barack Obama talked a lot about those that weren't stepping up to the plate. I think at the time there were 3 or 4 NATO countries back in 2012, 2014 that were paying the 2%. But remind us, when Trump was in office for 4 years, was there a situation where he did not defend a NATO nation?
I don't think there's any particular thing there in terms of not taking action. Now, there's no clear evidence that there was anything of that kind of sort. I think the more interesting thing in the dynamics that we live in is I think we do need to put NATO under a microscope. Obviously, there were some things happening even in Gaza and Israel with some of the funding going through NATO ending up in the hands of people who helped carry out those attacks. So that's clearly something that should be on the table. We should have that discussion to be sure. But the thing that we have to be careful of is the less united we appear to be, and the more we continue to appease nations, the less confidence everybody has in the United States. And it's not that the United States needs to be the world's police person all the time, but we do need to be strong and we need to be clear. There are countries all around the world that are really questioning the U.S. commitment. And I think that's what this statement really does most of all, is undermines that confidence. We look at the very messy and disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, and that left a lot of people questioning, well, will the U.S. really be there when they say they're going to be there?
So what does this do to the war in Ukraine? A statement like this?
Well,
if you're President Zelensky.
Yeah, well, it clearly emboldens Vladimir Putin to continue to push. If you're the Ukrainians, you have to continue to question. And, of course, we're going to watch very closely this week what happens in Congress. The Senate has passed an aid package which would help Ukraine, so that would be a big message being sent there. It's got to get through the House, and that will really be what's on the table today. But it's uncertainty. That's the biggest question with all of these kinds of statements, and I don't care where where you fall on that political spectrum. The important thing is what is it that undermines confidence? Yeah. Because thugs, dictators, and bad guys, whether they're on our southern border or in Moscow or in Tehran or in China, they love uncertainty, because when there's hesitation and vacillation, there's less likely to be definitive action that keeps everybody free and safe.
That is such a great point. All right, Boyd, thank you. Remember to listen in to Boyd Matheson every afternoon, 1 to 3 o'clock on his Inside Sources, and that's the In-Depth this morning.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
I-15 in Salt Lake County, a little bit slow and sandy. Early delays have crept in around 114th, 106th. But no other delays on the freeway. I-80 all clear. Whatever was slowing you down out past Saltaire is gone. In Tooele County, some minor slowdowns starting to creep in Lake Point, though, just before you get to the merge with I-80. Jason?
And it's really been a smooth commute all morning long through Weber and Davis counties. It remains that way. Accident and delay-free on I-15 from Ogden to downtown Salt Lake City. Still going to run just about 30 minutes of travel time to go that stretch at this point. Your other highways and side streets also are accident and delay-free. Eric.
I-15 continues to move along with some delays in Linden. Northbound I-15, we had a crash there up against the left barrier just before the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. Didn't take long for it to clear up, but that's a bad spot as far as congestion is. Even when there's no crashes, sometimes we have some slowdowns there. 2100 north from Redwood Road eastbound over to the freeway. That's the busiest city street right now in Utah County. Need a perfect event venue? There's a place. This is the Place Heritage Park. Ideal for weddings, events featuring 11 venues, beautiful grounds, affordability for any celebration. Call or visit thisistheplace.org. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The 7-day forecast calls for mostly sunny skies and a seasonable start to the work week with highs in the low 40s. We warm into the mid to upper 40s Tuesday, Wednesday. We hold the above average temperature trend for the rest of the work week, and overall it looks dry. Our only rain chance is on Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mashuli.
Right where we started the morning, 28 degrees in the 7-day forecast, brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
We asked our listeners to share some of their favorite commercials from the Super Bowl last night, and you can text it to 57500. One listener says, the T-Mobile ad with Jason Momoa doing Flashdance. It was really dumb, but I loved it. Allstate Mayhem parking garage, somebody liked. Somebody liked the commercial where the Ravens, Eagles, and Seahawks were all flying around. It was kind of funny. Somebody else liked Doritos. Yeah, there were a lot of... Do you know which one I really liked and I was surprised? Pfizer, of all things. It was a salute to science. Remember, in all the faces of, Leonardo da Vinci, and so their mouths were moving.
Yeah.
That was really powerful, too.
I've also seen people talking about the Pluto TV ad where they're growing couch potatoes.
Yes,
and they have fields full of people sitting on their couches with big screens in front
Yeah,
of them.
I like that one, too.
It was great stuff. Coming up in a minute, we'll see how the markets are getting started just ahead of the opening bell, so stay right there.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. For 75 years, Chevron Salt Lake Refinery has provided affordable, reliable, ever cleaner energy for Utah. Chevron Technical Manager at the Salt Lake Refinery, Linda Bachmeyer, joins us with more.
When the Chevron Salt Lake Refinery started up in 1948, it played a crucial role in Utah's history, fueling industry and growth after World War II when demand for automotive products grew rapidly. In our 75-year history, the refinery has evolved to meet Utah's changing needs. The refinery started as a simple facility making only low-octane gasoline and kerosene and has grown to a complex facility producing gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. The refinery was and still is a crucial link between Rocky Mountain crudes and the communities across the Intermountain West. At Chevron, we pride ourselves on working to solve today's biggest challenges like air quality. We invested in technology to reduce the refinery emissions by almost 90% since the 1990s. We also make Tier 3 gasoline, a lower sulfur, cleaner burning fuel that helps reduce tailpipe emissions that cause air pollution. In our 75 years of operation in Utah, we are proud of our innovations as we work towards an ever cleaner energy future.
Chevron employs nearly 400 people at the Salt Lake Refinery, with operators who keep the refinery humming 24/7. Its fuels power cars, industry, and human progress across Utah. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get
the power of a cut above.
Decades of expertise to transform your home. From so-so to virtuoso.
The power of neighborhood painters.
We live where you live and probably like the same pizza place you do. Put
the power of pro
to work for you today. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Tonight on KSL, if you choose not to tip, you could pay the price. I was like, wow. KSL investigator Matt Gephardt digs into the new push to get your gratuity before any work is done.
You've already got the money. Does it change your motivation to hustle?
See how it's attracting workers.
0 tip. I was pretty much working for charity.
But at what cost to you?
It's really run amok sometimes.
What to consider before you fall into the pre-tip trap tonight at 10.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Senator Mike Lee warned us. He said he was going to speak for a long time against the Ukraine spending bill. Well, he was right. The filibuster ate up nearly 4 hours on the Senate floor. I'll share why I found it a valiant but ultimately futile effort. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. It may be harder to get guacamole or avocado toast this month. A lack of rain and warmer weather in Mexico has fewer shipments coming into the U.S. The state of Michoacan, which produces 90% of avocados shipped to the U.S., got half the rain it normally gets.
Yeah. You've been out for guacamole at a Mexican restaurant lately?
No.
It's like
we buy a lot of it.
$22 a bowl right now.
Really, we buy avocados all the time. I bet.
Yeah, they're costly. The most expensive home in the U.S. is up for sale, and it will cost you $295 million. The Florida compound is 9 acres with an 11,500 square foot home and 2 guest houses, each over 5,000 square feet.
We're just a couple of minutes away from the opening bell. The Dow futures off 48. That's 0.1%. S&P down a fraction, just 3 points. The Nasdaq down 12, which is also less than a tenth.
Still have some slowing northbound I-15 in Linden, approaching the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit through the crash that is cleared there, but some residual backing. We'll check it next.
I've heard it said a lot, Tim, that great leaders surround themselves with talented people, competent, talented people. And that's how I feel about, businesses that employ Les Olson IT. Whether you're doing eBay out of your garage or you have thousands of employees, you bring in Les Olson IT to show you where your weak points are, to show you where you could save money, where you don't know. You surround yourself with their talent.
And every time we talk about this, I have a feeling there's somebody driving in and go, I thought they did copiers and printers.
They do.
They still do, but they can be your business partner for managed IT right now, whether you're a big company or just a sole proprietorship. Everything from desktops to servers and laptops and Wi-Fi and security cameras, right down to facial recognition.
And they can work on one-time projects. Maybe you've got a huge project that's just bigger than your IT department can handle and you need some backup. Or they can be your IT department. They are that good and that well staffed.
The invitation this morning is for you to get to know Les Olson IT. They have 9 locations from Logan to Las Vegas.
Go to lesolson.com.
The battle at the border intensifies.
Curtis was shocked to find out how much control cartels have.
And Utah's Governor Cox is sending some help.
Soldiers will be heading south toward the end of the month.
Get breaking details with Tim and Amanda mornings 5 to 9. And the latest updates with Jeff Kaplan afternoons 3 to 7.
We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
This week's movie show brought to you by Sound Sleep Medical. Get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation by tuning in on Friday morning. Sound Sleep Medical with 7 locations in Utah.
Traffic and weather together here at 7:29 is brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Andy Farnsworth back in the traffic center.
Well, Tim, that slowdown we were seeing on I-15 in Draper has thinned, but there's a little bit building up now in Murray around 5300 South. Traffic slow coming down the hill from 5400 South in Taylorsville. And on SR 201, you're going to see waiting at the traffic lights through Magna, but then after 7200 West. And when you don't have any more traffic lights, it's the full speed limit all the way over to I-15. Jason?
And in Weber and Davis counties, if you want to blame the traffic for being late to work this morning, that's not going to cut it because there's just really no traffic to speak of. All of your highways and side streets are at regular speeds. There's no accidents out there. Maybe just a little bit heavy right now, 5600 South and Roy over towards I-15, but that's pretty much it. Eric?
Got some delays getting into Park City if you're westbound on Kearns Boulevard. That's SR 248 if you're exiting US 40 this morning. And a little bit of southbound slowing on 224 going by Canyons as you head from I-80 down to Park City. In Utah County, the one slow spot is because of a crash earlier. It's been cleared, but northbound in Linton approaching Pleasant Grove Boulevard, you got some delays there as you head on past up to American Fork and Lehigh. Is the IRS harassing you? Are tax problems ruining your life? Let Utah Tax Attorney Jordan Wilcox help. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's high temperature should be around 43 degrees. We get up into the upper 40s by later in the week. Right now it's 28 degrees.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 7:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
We may have a dry start to the week, but we're not done with winter weather and especially winter hazards just yet.
At least one skier had to be rescued from an avalanche over the weekend, and forecasters say the risk is still strong. KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live on the scene at the Utah Avalanche Center with details. Adam?
Amanda, some forecasters are just starting to get back in from checking the snowpack early this morning. Right now, avalanche danger is still listed as moderate between Logan and Ogden, but it is considerable from Salt Lake to Provo and in the Uintas. Utah Avalanche Center forecaster Dave Kelly told me this morning all the new snow is adding a lot of weight to a still very weak base. A big reason why they saw a number of human-triggered slides over the weekend, including a pretty big one in Mill Creek Canyon.
And that avalanche was 500 feet wide, 5 feet deep, and ran over 2,000 vertical feet, taking out old uphill skin tracks.
Kelly says the danger is going to go down as we work our way through the week, give that snowpack a chance to stabilize. But for now, if you're headed to the mountains, avoid slopes of 30 degrees or greater. And, of course, as always, bring a buddy along with your beacon, shovel, and probe. Live at the Utah Avalanche Center in Salt Lake City, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
2 snowmobilers are expected to make a full recovery after they got stuck in steep terrain in Wasatch County. Rescuers say they were able to locate them easily in part because they had a satellite beacon with them and were able to set off the SOS button. They were also able to start a fire to stay warm while rescuers were able to dig them out of the deep snow roughly 5 hours later.
A slight correction to a story we brought you Friday morning. Utah law requires companies with genetic genealogy databases to let you opt in or opt out before your data can be shared with law enforcement. Senator Todd Weiler sponsored the bill to do that, which was signed by Governor Cox into law last year.
The database companies themselves have made significant improvements and addressed the security issues both internally with a user agreement with those who are working within the law enforcement opt-out sanctions.
This year, he's got a draft bill to shore up some of those privacy protections while also still allowing police access for solving crimes.
KSL's top national stories this hour. Former President Donald Trump under fire after saying if he is reelected, he would not protect NATO allies unless they pay their fair share in defense funds. The European Union's top diplomat, Josep Borrell, reacted this morning.
Let's be serious. Let's be serious. NATO cannot be an alliance à la carte. It exists or it not exist.
The Biden administration called those comments unhinged.
A large majority of Americans say both of the presidential frontrunners are just too old. ABC's Alex Perchet reports.
President Biden has been facing increased criticism about running for a second term after that scathing special counsel report, which cleared him of any criminal wrongdoing, but went on to characterize him as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Democrats on the Hill have been rallying around the president, saying he is fit to serve. But in a new ABC News Ipsos poll, 86% of Americans think Biden is too old to serve another term as president. That figure includes 59% of Americans who think both he and Donald Trump are too old.
The Biden campaign joined TikTok last night.
We're learning more about a bomb scare that shut down State Street over the weekend. Police tell us that a man in a pickup truck claimed to have explosives in his truck. Nearby businesses had to be evacuated while they checked it out. Eventually, they announced the all clear, no explosives found. The driver was identified as a non-compliant sex offender with a record out of Arizona.
The Kansas City Chiefs spent the night celebrating their Super Bowl win.
On the field here, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift spent time. They hugged and gave each other kisses. A sweaty Travis Kelce hugging his girlfriend after she came back from Tokyo to be here to see him play. Several times she was shown on the screens during the game, to which there were loud boos.
The Chiefs beat the 49ers in overtime. It is the second Super Bowl to ever go into overtime.
They had some video this morning that's going around of all the fireworks that were going off in Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
And it looked like a 4th of July.
That's cool.
People were stocked up and ready to go. All right, let's get a look at First Look traffic this morning. Andy, how we doing?
Well, right now, if you're on I-15, you still got some slowing going from Orem into Pleasant Grove, left over from an earlier crash. It's gone, but traffic's slowing down now more in the Salt Lake Valley around Murray. It's been pretty good on I-15 from Ogden to Salt Lake going south so far this morning, but it is starting to fill in Rose Park just before that 900 West exit. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Commercial real estate brokers are taking issue with a bill before the Utah legislature that would force them to share accurate property value data with Utah counties. But advocates say transparency can only mean good things for the market. Our live team coverage, Utah Real Estate, begins with KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston. Peter?
Amanda, the reason commercial brokers are moving quickly is because this bill would change the way counties assess how much commercial properties are actually worth. The current system does not require brokers to release current value data to county assessors who decide how big a tax will be required for that property. Assessors often have to take a guess, and bill sponsor and State Senator Dan McKay says that shifts the property tax burden to another pressure point for Utahns, their homes. Brokers have responded to McKay's bill by hashing out a possible compromise with those tax setters, according to Building Salt Lake. McKay hasn't revealed whether he'd still push for the bill if a solid compromise does emerge from these talks. Reporting live from the Salt Lake International Airport, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Utah has the third lowest number of mortgage-free homes in the U.S. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris reports.
In the state, there are just over 30% of homes that are mortgage-free, according to data by Consumer Affairs. This is the third lowest number in the nation after Maryland and Colorado. The study reports that the area with the highest rate of mortgage-free home ownership is St. George.
The state that had the most outright owned homes in the country was West Virginia, where that's true for more than half of homeowners.
A down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers just turned 7 months old, so we're taking stock of how it's doing. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has the numbers live. Michael?
Amanda, the state legislature set aside $50 million for the program, which gives first-time homeowners a $20,000 down payment for new homes. Now, as of last month, nearly 500 people reserved funds to purchase a home, with townhomes and attached plan unit developments being what people spent the most on. According to the Salt Lake Tribune, and as far as popular locations go, Saratoga Springs, Spanish Fork, Magna, Eagle Mountain, and Riverton have properties that qualify for the assistance. Advocates are hoping the program will remain a step in the right path for making homes more accessible and closer to city centers in the future. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
Northbound delays remain on I-15 in Linden, and now from Midvale to Murray, also slowing down a bit. We'll check traffic and weather together 2 minutes away.
Spend your workday with a talk show that makes you feel better about the news.
Dave and Dujanovic.
They have a good dynamic between the two of them.
Sometimes I'll take Dave's side and sometimes I'll take Debbie's side.
They're great.
Dave and Debbie, live from 9 to noon, or podcast the show on the app for KSL News Radio.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
I am a soul line dance instructor.
This is Rhonda.
I just love dancing, so I was always willing to dance through the pain, but it was really starting to catch up with me. I've had foot pain, leg pain, everything pain.
And this is Rhonda's Good Feet story.
I was using any and everything that I could to help alleviate the pain.
None of that worked. Until
since visiting the Good Feet store and incorporating the arch supports into my life, I definitely have not felt the pain. I can't even really verbalize just how much better I feel. My mood and my energy has just drastically improved. I'm still actually in awe wearing the arch supports and being pain-free now. I am able to dance longer. Dancing is just a joy.
Now that is one heck of a Good Feet story.
I do want to tell everyone about it.
And now you have.
So, yeah.
See how we can help you with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit mygoodfeet.com.
This portion of the news brought to you by the Good Feet store. The life you love starts here.
7:39, traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Back to you, Andy.
Well, right now, if you're on I-15, that drive is getting worse between 90 South, 5300 South. It's gotten very heavy in the last few minutes trying to go through that stretch of freeway. 215 West Side still good from Taylorsville up to the airport turnoff. 201's got some backups in Magna at 8400 West, and then some slowdowns on Mountain View in West Valley going from 41st to 35th South. Jason?
We remain with a mostly good-looking commute up north. You are seeing a little bit of slowing now, southbound I-15, right around 2300 North, just a little bit less than 70 miles an hour in that area. Also southbound over on Legacy Parkway in the Centerville probably about the Centerville area, I guess we're going to call that. But that's just a little bit less than regular speeds also. Everything else is holding out at good speeds. Eric?
For drivers northbound from Provo and Orem up to American Fork and Lehigh, a crash in Linden happened just at the wrong time, and that was quickly cleared up, but you've got delays now from 1600 North and Orem up to the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. Getting over to the freeway, we've got some eastbound delays now, 2100 North and Lehigh's Main Street approaching I-15. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's a chilly start this morning with temperatures in the 20s. Highs today will be near average in the low 40s, and we'll have mostly sunny skies all throughout the day. Highs get warmer each day. We approach 50 by Wednesday, and the only thing we're looking out for is just some passing clouds. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
We're about to have a beautiful sunrise out there this morning, and it's getting a little cooler, 27 this hour.
Looking forward in a couple of minutes to speaking with the president of the Utah Senate. Senator Stuart Adams will join us. They're coming down the home stretch now in the legislative session. More just ahead on KSL.
Right now, though, it's time for Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, and it's brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox.
Nearly 50% of marriages end in divorce, which makes Valentine's Day a combustible mixture of love and bitterness. For every couple exchanging cards and dining by candlelight, there are two people embittered by romance gone sour. And for them, in a fundraiser for a youth program, Clearfield Public Works in Davis County will drop your ex's name down a sewer. But going one better, the San Antonio Zoo will name a roach after your ex, and they'll feed it to an animal. They'll put it on video for your enjoyment, all for $10. But this Valentine's Day, one Utah man had an entire species of worm named after him, and he loves it.
It's the time of the season for loving.
I'm Byron Adams, and this is my namesake, Steinernema adamsi. It's a nematode worm, a new species, and it's the coolest thing ever.
He's a BYU professor. Nematodes are thinner than the human hair and barely visible. They crawl inside insects and eat them from the inside out. And on a sojourn to the South Pole, one of Professor Adams' former students discovered a new type of nematode. You know the science rule. You discover it, you get to name it, and he honored his mentor with the Steinernema adamsi. So congratulations to BYU Professor Byron Adams, but if your ex names a worm after you, I'm just saying, it might be time to examine your life choices.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Brought to you by the law offices of Jordan Wilcox. IRS harassing you? The law offices of Jordan Wilcox can help. Visit taxhelput.com.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. It's not just you.
My husband passed away. He had been ill for quite some time. And he did the taxes, but he forgot to send them in. He never sent the forms in. And this was the beginning of my nightmare.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
I got all these letters from the IRS telling me I owed them $63,000. I had a good friend that she said, you need an attorney. She said, call Jordan Wilcox.
You need someone to fight for you.
He said, Cynthia, we're going to give him $3,000. How does that sound? I started crying because I was overwhelmed.
Visit taxhelput.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit taxhelput.com.
You have it made in the shade with Jordan Wilcox.
That's taxhelput.com.
KSL News Time, 7:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
the family of a woman run over and killed by her drunk husband at Salt Lake City International Airport is suing Delta for serving him alcohol when he was already under the influence. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, Utah has the third lowest number of homeowners who've completely paid off their mortgages.
Third, it's a look at the drive with traffic and weather together.
But slowdowns on I-15 continue in Pleasant Grove, some in Midvale, some in Murray, and then some southbound now creeping in on both Legacy and Centerville and I-15 in North Salt Lake. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be a seasonable start to the work week. I'm Devin Mishuli.
And right now in downtown Salt Lake, it's 27 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Time now for our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Former President Trump arrived at a federal courthouse in Florida. There's a hearing today in the case involving his handling of classified documents. ABC's Eric Guterski's outside the courthouse and says this is not the only immediate legal issue for the Republican frontrunner.
Trump faces a deadline today to ask the U.S. Supreme Court to pause his federal election interference case in Washington, D.C., giving him time to appeal after a panel of judges rejected his claim that he's somehow immune from criminal prosecution.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's back in the hospital being treated for a bladder issue. The Pentagon says he's transferred his responsibilities to his deputy. The Israeli military rescued 2 hostages from a building in Rafah. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says at least 60 people were killed. It's party time in Kansas City after the Chiefs beat the 49ers in overtime to win their second consecutive Super Bowl. This is ABC News.
All right, time for the KSL In-Depth. The 2024 legislative session is more than halfway done. Many of the bills heard this year are concerning Utah's water.
Yeah, I was reading I think it was just the end of last week, about how Senator Adams himself is announcing some water legislation. Senate Bill 211 enhances coordination for water projects throughout Utah. I wonder what that means for the average. Oh, and then part of it is generational water infrastructure amendments. What does that mean to the average Utahn, I wonder?
I don't know. I mean, the big part of our water situation in Utah is being taken care of at the moment by Mother Nature,
yeah, right.
which is not anything any bill is going to be able to protect. But we've also had news lately of releases of water to get that water down to where it needs to be at the Great Salt Lake.
Right. I think we're joined now by Senate President Stuart Adams. President Adams, it's good to have you this morning. Do we have President Adams with us? We don't. Okay. I was hoping that we would so we could have a chance to talk about this water legislation, what it means to the average Utahn.
Yeah, we're all concerned about it, and we can all do our part, of course, by conserving the water that we use mostly outside of our homes, on our lawns and our gardens these days.
Right.
But how we can get into the legislative side of it, we'll have to count on our legislators to do. Do we have him? President Adams, are you with us?
I'm with you.
All
Good
right.
morning.
We apologize. We were talking about your own bill that's up on the Hill right now in regards to water in Utah. Where does that stand?
Well, it goes to committee this morning, and what it does is it actually sets up a new water agent. That water agent will work with other states to try to develop new water sources. We know we have to conserve, but we know that without new water resources, water is the limiting factor to our growth. It's and there's so many opportunities. They're endless as to how we can work with other states to find a win-win with them.
What do you mean by water sources?
Well, for example, we came up with an idea. You may remember it a few years ago. We talked about bringing water from the Pacific Ocean. Everybody kind of laughed at it, but we actually didn't want to do that. We thought of maybe setting up desalination plants in California and then trading California. Their Colorado River may be water rights, and us paying for the desalination plants. Nevada's doing that. They're actually trying to work with California, building desalination plants so that they can have water out of the ocean, and then the water that would have flowed to California, Nevada's keeping it, actually creates new water. That's an innovative idea that started in Utah, I think, and Nevada's using it, and we just need to be ahead of the curve rather than behind Nevada.
Would it also include looking at different sites for new reservoirs or no?
It may do that, but really we're looking for water resources. If we have the resources, then we can build a reservoir. But, I mean, we're talking about we got Columbia River that's north, we got Colorado, we've got the Bear River, we've got Wyoming, Idaho, Colorado. We're all experiencing the drought. If we can find a win-win for all the states, I think that's what we're trying to do. Water doesn't stop at the border. It flows almost through every state, and it is a regional issue, not just a state issue.
We'll continue to follow that with interest. Thank you, President. Senate President Stuart Adams with us this morning on the In-Depth at 15:45.
7:49 means traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Back to Andy Farnsworth.
Well, slowdowns in several spots. I-15, as you come over Point of the Mountain, you'll dip below the speed limit near Bangerter, near 106 South, and then you'll come to a stop in spots between 72 and 5300 South. Also slowing down in downtown Salt Lake. It's starting to become a more regular thing this late in the morning around 21st South, going up towards the 6 South exit. And some slowdowns scattered along Magna and West Valley along 201 as well to deal with. Jason?
And heavier slowing now southbound on Legacy Parkway in the Centerville area. It's going to stretch down almost to Bountiful at this point. You're going to run pretty slow through that entire stretch. And southbound over on I-15, we've seen less than 70 miles an hour as you just pass the north interchange. And that's going to be kind of on and off down to about 10th North at this point. Everything else, though, still looking pretty good up north. Eric?
Northbound Foothill Drive starting to get a little bit busy from 2100 South up to 1300 South. And if you're getting into Park City, that's very slow in Kearns Boulevard, westbound from US 40 into town. I-15 Utah County, at least it's thinning out a little bit in Linden. We had a crash there earlier, but slowdowns have persisted for a while between 1600 North and the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. And that, of course, is on the northbound side. Two Brothers Mattress, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer. President's Day sale happening now at all Two Brothers Mattress locations and online at twobrothersmattress.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. It is a pleasure to welcome you to our air. This is Devin Mashuli. How are you, Devin?
Hey, I'm great. A little sleepy after Super Bowl Sunday.
I bet. So what's the 7-day look like?
So yesterday we were in the upper 30s, so we're actually going to get warmer each day. So we have the low 40s today with mostly sunny skies, mid 40s Tuesday, partly cloudy. On Wednesday, expecting more clouds with highs close to 50. And the reason for the added clouds is thanks to our next system that'll bring us some wet weather on Thursday. It'll cool us down temporarily, but then we are likely going to stay in the mid to upper 40s for the rest of the 7-day forecast and trending drier as we head into the weekend.
Yes, welcome to the KSL radio and television family.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice to have you here. And what a beautiful morning. Fair skies, 27 degrees. We'll check money next.
When was the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it really deserves?
Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing in all sorts of nasty dirt, dander, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zerorez is going to spread the love to you and your home with their February special. Don't think vacuuming or DIYing will suffice. Call the pros. Zerorez has over 7,400 Google reviews with a 4.8 rating. This month, it's $33 per room cleaned, plus a fourth room free with promo code 4FREE24. And don't forget about your air ducts. Take $50 off your air duct cleaning with promo code CLEAN-AIR. Call Zerorez, 866-ZEROREZ, or online at zerorez.com and say you want the KSL special, Zerorez. Spelled backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This Friday from 10 to 1, the movie show comes to Sound Sleep Medical. But first, take the time to learn about a better night's rest. Sound Sleep Medical delivers oral appliance therapy that treats sleep apnea without the use of CPAP machines. They're professionally fit, warranted, and covered by most major medical insurance. End the days of a poor night's sleep. Sound Sleep Medical will help. Call Sound Sleep Medical at 801-716-8672 for details. Sound Sleep Medical.
If there's a problem during your siding, gutter, or window installation project, most contractors will try to hide it, ignore it, or blame someone else. It's called passing the buck or turning a blind eye, or my favorite, finger pointing. My question is, where is the accountability? Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and look, sometimes problems just happen, no matter who you hire. Maybe the wrong color siding gets delivered, despite the order being placed perfectly. Or maybe a downspout gets cut short. Honestly, it could be anything. At RGS Exteriors, mistakes are rare. But if something goes wrong, I can absolutely, positively, 100% guarantee you we'll never hide it, and we'll never pass the buck. We'll make certain everything turns out right for you. That's people over profits. That's the RGS Exteriors way. For a free estimate on siding, gutters, or windows, call 801-280-3110, rgsexteriors.com, rgsexteriors.com.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Senator Mike Lee warned us. He said he was going to speak for a long time against the Ukraine spending bill. Well, he was right. The filibuster ate up nearly 4 hours on the Senate floor. I'll share why I found it a valiant but ultimately futile effort. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Markets all back in the green, but not by much. The Dow is up 23, the S&P is up less than a point, and the NASDAQ is up by 11.
It's time for Cougar Tracks with KSL Sports BYU insider Mitch Harper.
It was a good weekend for BYU basketball as the Cougars got back in the win column with a 72-66 victory over Kansas State. The only downside was that BYU made it closer than they needed it to. They had a 16-point lead, dwindled down to 2 with 1 minute left before Jackson Robinson buried a 3 with 50 seconds remaining to put BYU out in front for good. Here was Robinson on the shot.
I mean, it was just kind of a stagger screen. I came off, was just aggressive, looking for my shot, and I just let it go, and it went in.
It seemed like a tough catch.
It wasn't the catch that any shooter would want, but, I mean, Dallin got it to me, and that's all that matters.
BYU improves to 5-5 in Big 12 play. They return to action tomorrow against UCF in Provo. Listen to Cougar Nation tonight at 6 p.m. as we take your phone calls discussing all things BYU basketball right here on KSL. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
So I just jumped onto the Hale Center Theater website to see what the ticket situation is for Fiddler on the Roof. Sold out for most of the rest of February, but here's the good news. It is going to be around until the end of March.
Yes,
so
right.
So you've got lots of opportunities to see it.
You know how you say that life is just made up of moments that you remember. I will remember sitting next to my husband in that show, Fiddler on the Roof, probably for the rest of my life. I don't know if it's because we're in a stage where our kids are just leaving the nest, but it moved both of us so much that I thought it just suspended everything, and we were right there in the moment.
And, of course, everybody is so familiar with the music of that Tony Award-winning production, but the way they stage it at Hell Center Theater is really something to see and not to be missed. Also, don't forget, over on the Jewel Box stage, Clue is there. So if you want to be Colonel Mustard with a wrench in the laundry, maybe this one's for you.
Hey, get tickets for Valentine's Day. What a beautiful present to the rest of the season or just one show.
Yeah, like you said, it'll be a night to remember. 801-984-9000 or go to hct.org.
Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. Listen, we're fiduciaries. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. Now, imagine how that would be if you could actually retire 3 to 5 years sooner than your plan was. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan, taking into consideration any rental properties that you have, any pension income that you have, your Social Security. Listen, we put that all together for you in writing. It will allow us to build your income based on inflation. You know, inflation has been rapidly rising. You and I both need a plan that whatever we start out our income at, in 5 or 10 years, we're going to need 40% more income. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
7:59, traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Some slowing on I-15 coming up on Bangerter, then a long stretch of heavy traffic from 90th up into Murray. The only place on North 15 right now where traffic's coming to a stop is closer to 21st South for a couple of blocks. Mountain View, Bangerter seeing the usual intersection delays going through West Valley. And right now you've also got the Bangerter slowdowns in South Jordan near 9800 South. Jason?
Still running a little bit slow southbound on Legacy from Centerville down to Bountiful. I'm looking at the cameras and haven't seen anything at all, so I'm not exactly sure what the slowdowns are happening for. But they're actually getting better than they were just a few minutes ago, so that's good news. And a little less than 70 miles an hour as you hit the north interchange on and off down to about 10th North in Rose Park. Eric?
I-15 continues to look solid for the most part in Utah County. Just a touch of slowing now going past 1600 North through Linden up to the Pleasant Grove Boulevard exit. This was worse earlier when we had an accident. Eastbound slowing though now 2100 North as you go over from Redwood Road to the freeway. Hunt Utah's biggest bucks and bulls for just $5. It's the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo in Salt Lake City, February 15th to 18th. Go to huntexpo.com for details. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sun's up and we've got another beautiful day on the way today with a high of 43 degrees. No chance of any precip. It's 27 in Salt Lake City.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 8 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Tim Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
The family of a woman run over by her drunk husband at Salt Lake City International is suing the airline.
KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has details on the lawsuit against Delta. He is live on the scene at Salt Lake City International Airport. Peter?
Amanda, Charlotte Sturgeon's family says Utah law holds Delta Airlines responsible for her death because it states that if someone serves an individual alcohol when they're already intoxicated,
that business could be held civilly responsible for the people that they hurt.
KSL legal analyst Greg Skorda says the complication is a potential
We'll have to go back to Peter here in just a minute when we can work through some of those technical difficulties, so stay with us. In the meantime, a developing story on KSL News Radio this morning. One person is dead. A second is in the hospital after a shooting along 7800 South near 600 East in Sandy. Sergeant Greg Moffitt says it happened around 3:30 in the morning and involves some kind of dispute between a group of people.
At the office right now, we have detectives that are interviewing 2 people that have been detained.
Moffitt says the 2 people in custody are both men, but he didn't have their ages. There's no word what led up to that dispute.
KSL's top national stories now. A 5-year-old boy is in critical condition after a woman opened fire inside celebrity pastor Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston. Osteen joined police at a news conference after the shooting.
It could have been a lot worse. Of course, we're devastated. I mean, we've been here 65 years and have somebody shooting in your church. But, you know, we don't understand why these things happen, but we know God's in control.
One other person was injured in the shooting. 2 off-duty officers shot and killed the shooter.
More breaking news here on KSL. A warning before your next campfire or bonfire from fire crews after an accident in southern Utah over the weekend. KSL News Radio's Adam Small is live with the details. Adam?
Tim, I just got off the phone with Hurricane Valley Fire and Rescue, and they said not only was it a person that accidentally set their leg on fire after dumping gasoline onto their campfire over the weekend, it was actually a 12-year-old boy that sustained those second and third degree boils around mostly his foot and leg. Captain Tyler Ames with Hurricane Valley Fire and Rescue told me that they think that he was out with some friends in his backyard, poured gasoline on an active fire, and some of that gasoline got on his foot and leg. They think he panicked, ran around the yard a little bit, which sparked a couple other fires, which were out by the time they got there. But the boy has since been taken to a burn unit in Las Vegas with pretty substantial damage to his leg. They're urging people, first off, when you are in a situation like this, I know it's hard with the panic running through your head in those situations, but remember to stop, drop, and roll, potentially try to put that fire out. And also with gasoline, they'd never recommend using that, especially on an active fire. Maybe use something like lighter fluid or another safer method to enjoy your night out at the campfire. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Let's go back now to KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston with details on that lawsuit against Delta. Peter's out at the airport. Peter?
Amanda, Starla Sturgeon's family says that Utah law is going to hold Delta Airlines responsible for her death because it bans individuals from serving people who are alcohol who are already under the influence. I just spoke with KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas. He says that Delta is likely going to argue in this case where the husband was drunk, got more drinks on the plane, that Delta will argue that the husband was already showing abusive behavior, regardless of his blood alcohol level. Sturgeon's family says he had a blood alcohol level that was way over the legal limit and was so drunk that he could not remember getting on the plane. Now the family wants financial compensation for her funeral costs, as well as emotional damages for Sturgeon's child who was in the car when Dalton ran her over. Reporting live from Salt Lake City International Airport, Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL weather now with meteorologist Devin Mashuli. It's looking a little warmer this week, but that doesn't mean it won't look stormy.
Both Tuesday and Wednesday, we expect to see passing clouds here and there, but a quiet and rather sunny start to the work week is expected. By Thursday, however, temperatures will cool down just a bit, will likely be still seasonable in the low 40s, but the reason for the cool down is because we'll have a disturbance passing off towards our north that'll bring us the chance of rain.
Today should come with some clouds and a high of 43.
First look traffic now, and here's Andy Farnsworth.
And right now, we've got slowdowns in several spots. A crash on the right and left just after Point of the Mountain. Surprisingly, that isn't having an impact on the drive. You'll see a lot more delay closer to Salt Lake right now if you're coming up past 21st South. Also, I-15 jammed from Ogden into Riverdale on the southbound side. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
Epidemiologists are tracking a slight uptick in cases of the measles. There's been a surge of cases in the United Kingdom and at least one case identified just to the south of us in Arizona. Measles can be prevented with the MMR vaccine.
The next time you're getting a shot, try getting it in your other arm. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit is live to explain why. Michael?
Yeah, Amanda, believe it or not, but there's a new study saying that if you go back and forth between your right and your left arm, then you're evidently improving your immunity. This is the result of a pandemic-era study recently published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation. Basically, selected participants alternated their arms for the COVID vaccine and the boosters. Now, within that group, researchers found they had as much as a 4-fold increase in immune response. The theory behind it all is getting a shot in a different arm activates different lymph nodes, and they're saying this will hold true for other vaccines, so you can try it out the next time you're getting a shot. Reporting live, Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
In sports, the Kansas City Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowl championships in just 5 years, and they've done it back-to-back. ABC's Alex Stone was at the game in Las Vegas.
With the Lombardi Trophy now in the hands of the Chiefs, the confetti continues to fly here as Travis Kelce was celebrating and speaking to the crowd. Taylor Swift was a face on the big screens here in the stadium as she looked on, proudly looking at her boyfriend. Chiefs fans here sticking around. They continue to celebrate.
It was the second Super Bowl ever to make it into overtime.
With Valentine's Day approaching, for many people, it is rom-com season.
There are a lot of good ones out there. In fact, last year there were an average of 3 new rom-coms released every month. According to PR Hub, the most popular ones across the country are Pretty Woman, When Harry Met Sally, and Clueless.
This would be absolutely, totally, and in all other ways inconceivable.
But here in Utah, our number one is the quirky little fantasy adventure, The Princess Bride.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
A film about a grandfather reading a romance adventure novel to his sick grandson.
Hold it, hold
things. What is this? Are you trying to trick me? Is this a kissing book?
Don Brinker-Huff, KSL News Radio.
I do love that movie.
We've got some problems on the roads out there as we try and wind down this morning drive. Cars on the right and left shoulders, northbound I-15 just past the Bluffdale exit. Not a major delay there, but you might find a little hiccup. We'll check your traffic and weather together next.
A legacy of news and information going back generations.
I'll have the radio on. I learned that from my mom. She's listened to KSL her whole life, and I grew up listening to KSL radio too.
I really enjoy listening in the morning.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt!
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
When's the best time to plant a tree? It was 20 years ago. When's the second best time to plant a tree? It's now. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I remember years ago being sent home from elementary school with a small tree in a styrofoam cup. I know some of you can relate. If that was planted, it's now bigger than you are. Your finances are the same way. The best time to get started, or the best time to get a second opinion, is now. And with time and patience, imagine how big your financial tree could be. 20 years ago, if you invested $1,000 in Apple stock, it could be worth over $500,000 today. That is a big tree. Do that for you and do that for someone you love. Call Trajan Wealth today and help us help you plant that financial tree. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600. Or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
KSL News Time, 8:09. Let's get a look at traffic and weather together here, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Where are the problems, Andy?
Well, we've got a crash on the right and left sides, North 15, right after the Bluffdale exit. We've got some additional brake lights coming up on you in 53rd South and Murray. That shouldn't surprise anybody who drives through there every day. But some stop and go between about 33rd South, well, maybe a little closer to 21st South, up to the downtown exit. That's a little bit out of the ordinary. Bangor looking better now through West Valley, but still backed up in South Jordan at 9800 South. Jason?
So the delays that we usually see up in the Ogden, Riverdale area have materialized again. Very, very heavy at this point from 31st Street down to about Riverdale Road, and then you're clear after that. In fact, all of the delays that we had further south have cleared out, including the one over on Legacy Parkway. So no other impediments right now as you head to work this morning. Eric?
Heading into the mountains, I-80 looks good through Parley's Canyon. 189 through Provo Canyon also in good shape if you're heading out to the Wasatch. Back on US 40, though, if you're exiting there to go into Park City, westbound SR 248, that's Kearns Boulevard, that's going to have your usual slowdowns. The slowdowns we had northbound I-15 Utah County have been cleared in Linden after an earlier crash. Right now, you're looking at a steady 20-minute drive from University Avenue in Provo northbound up to Point of the Mountain. Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers. Have winter conditions damaged your parking lot asphalt or concrete surfaces? Call GoPave Utah to get on their schedule. GoPave Utah. GoPaveUtah.com. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
High pressure remains in control today, which means we stay quiet and sunny. Highs are going to be a touch warmer today in the low 40s, right where we should be for this time of year. Now, over the next couple of days, we stay dry. We'll just add some passing clouds throughout the day on Tuesday, Wednesday, and highs approach 50 by the middle parts of the work week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
Sunny downtown. I'm sure it'll start to warm up here in a bit. It's 27 right now.
That's Utah school board member who questioned a teen athlete's gender on social media.
Right.
Her name is Natalie Klein. She is facing more calls for her resignation. Debbie Dujanovic will join us to tell us more about that in just a moment.
Remember, you'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
This Monday Tax Tip is brought to you by Susan Spears, CEO of the Utah Association of CPAs.
In 2021, Congress passed the Corporate Transparency Act. This law creates a new beneficial ownership information reporting requirement as part of the U.S. government's efforts to make it harder for bad actors to hide behind anonymous entities as part of illicit financial activities. In the U.S., it is estimated that 32 million companies will be required to make this filing to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN. To find out if your organization is exempt, contact your CPA.
Get the most out of your income tax preparation when you hire a CPA. Go to uacpa.org to find a CPA that's right for you. That's uacpa.org. uacpa.org. Listen to KSL on Monday for more tax tips from the Utah Association of CPAs.
If you're on the journey of building your dream home, remodeling, or just want to brighten up some rooms, let the Blind Man be your tour guide into the possibilities 2024 has to offer. Window coverings balance functionality and aesthetics by managing light and privacy effortlessly. Whether you seek a captivating design element, enhanced privacy, light blocking solutions, or an infusion of natural light, the Blind Man's consultants are here to navigate you through the latest trends, tailoring them to complement your unique style. Motorized and automated roller shades have emerged as the preferred choice in 2024. This is driven by features such as the convenience they provide for hard-to-reach windows, providing safety for both children and pets, and contributing to energy efficiency. The Blind Man's experts would love to help you explore the options along your journey. Visit theblindman.com today to set up a free in-home consultation. Theblindman.com.
From Ogden to St. George, Utah's premier window covering provider, The Blind Man.
Right now at Macy's, find great Valentine's Day gift ideas like fragrance gift sets from Yves Saint Laurent, Armani, Carolina Herrera, and more. Plus, take an extra 20% off with your coupon or Macy's card on top of 35 to 60% off fine jewelry she'll love and 25% off chocolate from Godiva. And get your Valentine's gifts even faster when you pick up in-store or curbside now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
KSL News Time, 8:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah lawmakers pushing to ease the property taxes on homes by changing how county leaders decide on taxes for commercial real estate. I'm KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston.
Second, one person is dead, one in the hospital after an early morning shooting in Sandy.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
Speeds on I-15 coming to a stop around 7200 South in Midvale, as well as some backups around 21st South downtown. If you're trying to head out of Ogden, the backups are in that construction between 31st Street and the I-84 split. But if you're getting on the freeway anywhere south of that, you should keep the speed limit all the way to Salt Lake. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
More sunshine is on the way, but slightly warmer. I'm Devin Mishuli.
27 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
And time for a look at our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. It's another day in a courtroom for former President Trump. He's attending a hearing in Florida in the case that accuses him of illegally keeping classified documents. He has pleaded not guilty. ABC's Aaron Katersky's outside the courthouse and says the hearing focuses on the identity of witnesses.
The judge has ruled some of it must be made public, but special counsel Jack Smith is here trying to convince her to reconsider, arguing that would expose witnesses to significant and immediate risks of threats, intimidation, and harassment.
Last week, a special counsel cleared President Biden of criminal wrongdoing in his own handling of classified documents, but the report renewed scrutiny on the president's age. And an ABC News Ipsos poll finds 86% of respondents believe the 82-year-old is too old for another term. In Texas, local, state, and federal investigators are searching for clues into the identity and motivation of the woman who opened fire at the Houston church where televangelist Joel Osteen is the senior pastor. She was shot dead 2 people were hurt, says ABC's Mireya Villarreal.
Despite the shooter claiming to have a bomb in her backpack, investigators did not find anything. In fact, law enforcement says this could have been way worse had it not been for the heroic actions of 2 off-duty officers quickly stepping in. As of right now, they are not speculating on her motive, but say they do believe she acted alone.
First ever Super Bowl in Las Vegas was the 3rd title in 5 years for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Man, 3 times sounds good, right? Third time.
It was Chiefs wide receiver Mecole Hardman who made the game-winning catch, a 3-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes. A moment he tells ABC News he actually doesn't remember very well.
I blacked out for a second, and I seen Pat run to me. I'm like, okay.
And now looking forward to the victory parade in Kansas City on Valentine's Day.
The Chiefs kingdom will be in full effect.
Alex Stone, ABC News, Las Vegas.
You're listening to ABC News.
You were mentioning a minute ago, Amanda, that Natalie Klein's under some additional pressure now. And
Yes.
Debbie, this is coming from where now?
Well, Capitol Hill. We'll see what happens this week, but she is facing mounting pressure to resign her seat after that Facebook post last week and all the comments that implied the high school teen girls basketball player is transgender.
Mm-hmm.
She is not transgender. Now, if she doesn't resign, what are the options? Well, up on Capitol Hill, the House has opened what's called the Resolution to Address State School Board Member Natalie Klein, and they have a couple of options here. One would be to censure her, which is basically like a letter in your file, which is pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Thanks. You took the words right out of my mouth. Impeachment. To removal from office. I think what we've learned from this over the last several days is that once somebody is elected to office in the state of Utah, there's very little that we can do as citizens to get them out of office. So this is a very narrow path to get her removed from office if she does not voluntarily resign.
So impeachment is the path?
Impeachment, removal from office.
Who would remove her? What's the difference?
That's a great question. One we're going to explore during the David Janovic Show. We'll have KSL5 Television's Lindsay Aerts, who's been tracking this closely on Capitol Hill, joining the show to tell us what these options are.
Okay.
But she won her seat by a 40-point margin. So here's the other option. You elect somebody else to that office next time, but she holds that seat until January of 2025.
All right, we'll be listening in as we always do. Dave and Dujanovic coming up at the top of the hour. This portion of Utah's Morning News is brought to you by Revere Health.
8:19, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. Brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Andy?
Amanda, right now, travel on I-15 struggling in Midvale, 7200 South, and then in South Salt Lake around 21st South. Mountain View's still pretty backed up in West Valley, trying to get to 3500, and then we've got a lot of delay on Bangerter between 104th and 98th South, with that one intersection light in South Jordan being the only backup between Harriman and West Valley. Jason?
Turns out we had an accident southbound I-15 just past 31st Street in Ogden. That's what was causing the delays. The right lane was blocked, but it has cleared now. So traffic is starting to get back to normal, although you're going to still be a little bit slow right around 31st Street as you head southbound on I-15. The rest of your travel, though, down I-15 is now clear. You're going to be back up to regular speeds all the way down into the Salt Lake Valley. No problems 89 Legacy and the West Side Belt. Eric?
Don't have any accidents right now in Utah County, northbound I-15, at least none reported. It looks good from Santa Quin Payson all the way up to Thanksgiving Point. If you're out over an Eagle Mountain, expect your usual slowdowns once you get on 2100 North, heading over to the freeway. Redwood Road, though, not bad if you want to go up to Camp Williams or to the Port of Rock. Will turn off up on the Wasatch back. We've got good movement on US 40, but getting into Park City, slowdowns as normal as you head westbound on 248. That's Kearns Boulevard into town. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The 7-day forecast calls for mostly sunny skies and a seasonable start to the work week with highs in the low 40s. We warm into the mid to upper 40s Tuesday, Wednesday. We hold the above average temperature trend for the rest of the work week, and overall it looks dry. Our only rain chance is on Thursday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mashuli.
Already starting to warm back up. 28 degrees in the 7-day forecast, brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Tim and I would like to send you to the Jazz Lakers game on Wednesday.
We'd actually like to be going with you.
That's true. We'd like to go. But you can go. All you need to do is text the word Jazz just by itself, Jazz, to 57500. But tomorrow morning at 8:45 and Wednesday morning at 8:45, we'll give you an additional word so you can have 3 chances to win those tickets. 3 chances to win.
Yeah, great seats, too. So be listening tomorrow and Wednesday. KSL News Time, 8:22. This hour of Utah's Morning News brought to you by Zero Res, and that means our buddy Jake Stone is back with us again. Good morning, Jake.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
February is the month of love. Can you help us all fall back in love with our carpet?
Absolutely. That's something that we're super excited about. It is the month of love. And the question is when's the last time you've given your carpet some love?
You know, I was thinking the other day that I have you Zero Res out to the house regularly and have for, 20 years. And I am convinced that loving my carpet that way has lengthened its life.
Yes. When you're not putting the soaps or the detergents or any of those harsh chemicals into your carpet, it definitely lengthens the life of the carpet, extends the life when you use Zero Res. Because we use ZR water and it doesn't leave those sticky, crunchy residues behind. And ultimately, your carpet's going to stay cleaner longer.
We actually replaced all the carpet in our house, a couple of years ago. And I'm still trying to dig out from the expense of it. It's not only the biggest investment in your home, but it's also the biggest filter you have taught us.
Yes, it's the biggest filter. And what that means is as air moves around in your home, it goes through your HVAC system and it's filtered in the filter that's in the furnace. But your carpet is actually much, much bigger and filters much more than that filter. And so it just collects debris and particulate and all of that dead skin from us living in the home. And it just eventually fills up. And it's not as good of a filter because it's not doing its job anymore. So cleaning your carpet professionally is actually going to improve the air quality in your home.
Do you have a special for our listeners today, Jake?
Yes, absolutely. I always come bearing gifts. So special is $33 per room with the 4th room free using the promo code 4FREE24.
That's 4FREE24. You can call this number, 866-0RES, or go to zerores.com.
Tonight on KSL, if you choose not to tip, you could pay the price. I was like, wow. KSL investigator Matt Gephardt digs into the new push to get your gratuity before any work is done.
You've already got the money. Does it change your motivation to hustle?
See how it's attracting workers.
0 tip. I was pretty much working for charity.
But at what cost to you?
It's really run amok sometimes.
What to consider before you fall into the pre-tip trap tonight at 10.
Dave and Dujanovic. Senator Mike Lee warned us. He said he was going to speak for a long time against the Ukraine spending bill. Well, he was right. The filibuster ate up nearly 4 hours on the Senate floor. I'll share why I found it a valiant but ultimately futile effort. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Americans ate more than 1 billion wings for the Super Bowl last night. The National Chicken Council says 1.45 billion wings is enough for every person in the United States to eat 4 wings each. But you said you had 3 or 4 people.
Actually, if 4 of you did not eat wings last night, I ate your portion. So
that also stretches, by the way, 1/3 of the way to the moon.
Oh, my gosh. Uber is making changes to his Super Bowl commercial after claims that it made fun of food allergies. Neither of us saw this one last night. I must have been running for wings. The Food Allergy Research and Education Charity asked the company to edit out a part that featured a man having an allergic reaction to peanut butter. The charity says the joke was inappropriate.
More than 380,000 Frigidaire refrigerators have been recalled after multiple reports of plastic in the ice bucket. The company says a piece of the ice machine is fragile and can easily break, leading to a choking hazard.
All right, we're an hour into the trading day and still in the green, but very narrow trading. The Dow is up, but only 18. The S&P is up just a fraction, not even half a point. And the NASDAQ is up this hour by 11.
Do we still have those cars on the shoulders northbound I-15 just past the Bluffdale exit? We'll check that. And the rest of your commute just ahead.
Revere Health is dedicated to making healthcare easier and more accessible by offering the latest technologies to improve the patient experience. We offer convenient telehealth appointments so you can receive care from the comfort of your own home. We also offer an online patient portal called Follow My Health that enables you to manage your healthcare online. When you download the Follow My Health app, you can exchange direct messages with your doctor, view lab and test results as soon as they are available, renew prescriptions, and review upcoming appointments. If you're ready to schedule your annual physical for 2024, we've made that easier too. Revere Health now offers the ability to schedule appointments online for primary care and select specialties. Visit our website at reverehealth.com to learn more or to schedule your next appointment online. Through these convenient solutions, Revere Health demonstrates its commitment to quality, patient-centric care every day. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner for life.
Jeff Kaplan. When I was a kid, my parents got me a subscription to Newsweek magazine. I would devour every page into the night. And to this day, I sit on my iPad looking for stories for my minute of news, flesh out our coverage, and I get to share the news with you.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
The battle at the border intensifies.
Curtis was shocked to find out how much control cartels have.
And Utah's Governor Cox is sending some help.
Soldiers will be heading south toward the end of the month.
Get breaking details with Tim and Amanda mornings 5 to 9 and the latest updates with Jeff Kaplan afternoons 3 to 7.
We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Time again for a look at traffic and weather together here, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Man, it's still slow going out there, Andy.
Yeah, Tim, we got slowdowns coming over the point. You'll have to pass a crash in Bluffdale that may be contributing to the slowing a little bit. But the stop and go doesn't get to until you're in South Salt Lake. Between the I-80 interchange and 6 South, the main line of I-15 is pretty clogged up right now. We've also got a little bit of slowing on 201 between Bangerter and 215. And backup still coming down the hill on Mountain View around 3500 South. Have to wait through an intersection light to get through there. Jason?
And you're still congested southbound I-15 from 31st Street down to Riverdale. It's moving along fairly well, although we are seeing some stop and go here and there at times. In the cameras, no other accidents, but there was an earlier accident, and that's what's causing that slowdown at this point. You're crowded again at the South Gate of Hill Air Force Base. The rest of your commute through Weber and Davis counties on all the highways and side streets is looking really good. Eric?
It's a steady stream northbound I-15 Utah County from Santaquin, Payson, all the way up to Point of the Mountain. Right at the point is where you're going to see some delays going into Salt Lake County. Getting over to the freeway, Pioneer Crossing getting a little bit busier, but most of the delays eastbound for Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs drivers is on 2100 north from Redwood Road over to the I-15 entrance ramps. Along the Wasatch Back, US 40 right now in good shape northbound from Heber to Park City. Need a perfect event venue? There's a place. This is the place. Heritage Park, ideal for weddings, events featuring 11 venues, beautiful grounds, affordability for any celebration. Call or visit thisistheplace.org. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny today, a high of 43, and right now it's 27 downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News with Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio.
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning, KSL News Time, 8:30.
KSL's top story this hour.
The sun is out, but the danger is not.
Forecasters are urging people to be careful in the backcountry today, with much of the Wasatch Mountains still facing considerable risk for avalanches. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
The danger is still considerable in the mountains from Salt Lake to Provo and moderate around Ogden. Utah Avalanche Center forecaster Dave Kelly says we had a number of human-triggered avalanches this weekend, and it's not just because of all the new snow. The snowpack base 3 months into winter is still very weak.
December, we had 25 days of cold, clear weather. And because the surface became so weak in December, we're still continuing to see avalanches.
Kelly says the danger will go down as we work through the week, but for now, avoid angles of 30 degrees or greater. And as always, bring a buddy shovel, beacon, and probe. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
At least one avalanche over the weekend resulted in a skier needing rescue. That skier up Little Cottonwood Canyon suffered serious injuries, but is expected to recover. In a separate rescue, 2 snowmobilers needed help after they got stranded in steep terrain in Wasatch County. Rescuers say they started a fire to keep them warm and used a satellite beacon to call for help.
Forecasters say we're likely going to head into a La Nina pattern by the summer. National Weather Service spokesperson Erica Groche tells KSL at night it all has to do with the sea surface temperature of the equatorial Pacific.
El Nino
is when that sea surface temperature is warmer than average for a certain length of time. So at least 1 degree warmer than average for at least 3 months consecutively. La Nina is the exact opposite.
Typically, it indicates the overall temperatures of the year. She says El Nino years, like the one we're just wrapping up, are warmer and La Nina years are cooler. Last year's record snowfall came courtesy of the La Nina pattern.
Now our top national story this hour. Former President Trump under fire after saying he would not protect NATO allies unless they pay their fair share in defense funds. We get more from ABC's Rhiannon Nally.
Nikki Haley condemning Trump's threat.
The last thing we want to do is break up that alliance. Yes, we want them to pay more, but that is not the way you get them to do it.
Haley is also questioning Trump's mental capacity after Trump questioned her husband's military service, insinuating Haley's husband deployed to Africa to get away from her.
What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
We need to have mental competency tests for anyone over the age of 75.
Mr. Trump is being criticized for even suggesting that he'd urge Russia to attack NATO countries who don't meet their defense spending.
Economists aren't seeing a recession in the near future, but business leaders are still worried. ABC's Daria Albinger reports.
Respondents to the National Association for Business Economics' latest policy survey are encouraged by what's going on here in the U.S.
Most respondents are seeing a soft landing. They don't see a recession this year or next.
But economist Elaine Buckberg, who is part of NAME's advisory panel, says tensions abroad have them worried.
They're increasingly concerned about geoeconomic risks, especially as related to the Middle East and a potential China-Taiwan conflict.
She adds those concerns are amplified since this is an election year. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Also clarifying a story we brought you last week, a Utah Republican is trying to make sure your privacy is protected while police can still use online genealogy databases to help solve crime. Senator Todd Weiler is drafting legislation toward that end now.
What I'm interested in moving forward with genetic privacy data laws that would not further victimize grieving families, but rather provide a better level of protection on for their genetic data.
State law already requires you to be able to opt in or out of your data being used by law enforcement. The draft bill would just tweak some of those protections.
First look traffic now on a Monday morning, and here is Andy Farnsworth.
And right now, travel on I-15 still struggling coming over the point, passing a crash that's on the right shoulder in Bluffdale, and then again around downtown at 21st South. The delays coming from Ogden to Riverdale finally starting to break up, although that right lane is still blocked, so you may have to slow as you move out of that lane. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
A Utah lawmaker wants to make property taxes more accurate for commercial properties. Now commercial brokers are trying to get ahead of him. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston begins our team coverage, Utah Real Estate.
County assessors in Utah can base a home's property tax level on its real market value, but they don't have that same information for commercial properties. That results in assessors taking a guess at what the commercial property might be worth. State Senator Dan McKay says these guesses often lowball and put more burden on homeowners to make up for that difference. He's running a bill for the second year in a row that would make real estate brokers give these property tax setters the actual market value of a commercial property. So brokers have responded by meeting with assessors all along the Wasatch Front to work out a potential compromise, according to Building Salt Lake. For now, the bill is in a holding pattern. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
A program that helps put Utahns in their first homes now has more than a half year's worth of data behind it. Here is KSL News Radio's Michael Commit with a progress report.
Out of the $50 million that were set aside to help first-time homeowners make a down payment, $38 million remains, and nearly 500 people have reserved funds to purchase a new home, according to the Salt Lake Tribune. And those were usually townhomes or condominiums. Now, single-family homes are still outside of the price range for many home buyers, but this could mean duplexes, triplexes, or accessory dwelling units could help housing become more sustainable and localized to workplaces. As for the program's future, Senate President Stuart Adams believes the demand for first-time home buyers will grow as interest rates decrease. Michael Commit, KSL News Radio.
The Kansas City Chiefs being called a dynasty with another Super Bowl win.
Long after the game was over, Chiefs fans like Melanie Miller, who lives in Missouri, were celebrating with others in red and gold here, cheering on the players as they were with family on the field.
I'm feeling fantastic. I'm so excited to be here and to celebrate the Chiefs win.
This is amazing. I'm so proud of who we are, what we did.
Some of these fans spent time scooping up confetti to bring it home to remember the third Chiefs win in 5 years. Alex Stone, ABC News at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
It was quite a game.
Yeah, and there's two things that aren't getting a lot of attention this morning, but the record for the longest field goals in Super Bowl history broken twice.
One by each team.
Yeah.
That was cool.
55 was the first one, 57 was the second, when the kickers, including, by the way, the punter, Mitch Wishnowsky from the Utes, was awesome last night.
That was awesome. Well, we do have some slowdowns, it looks like, on I-15 from 33rd south to downtown, northbound slowdowns. We'll check that and the rest of your commute just ahead.
Join your friends who rely on KSL each morning for the fastest routes to work and school.
I like traffic on the 9s.
So I need to get the kids up earlier so that my son isn't driving quickly in a snowstorm.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s.
On KSL News Radio.
Strength comes from confidence. Financial strength comes from knowing you have the best financial resources backing you up. And that starts at Hercules Credit Union and their Gold Tier Checking. Gold Tier Checking is a way for you to enjoy amazing rewards because you're a valued customer and Hercules professionals want you to always feel that way. So Gold Tier Checking brings you all the benefits of regular checking, but with even more benefits. Start with Ultimate ID and 3 Bureau daily credit monitoring. There's cellular care coverage, health and wellness savings, tickets and savings express, increased dividend payouts, and no monthly fees. All that's required is that you sign up for e-statements and every 30 days get direct deposit. Keep an average daily balance of $500 or more and make 10 or more Visa debit card purchases. Start at HerculesCU.com and begin to learn about Gold Tier Checking. HerculesCU.com. HerculesCU.com. Hercules Credit Union. Growing stronger together. On approved credit. Equal housing lender. All accounts insured to $250,000 by NCUA.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At SLCFatLoss.com, we know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects, go to SLCFatLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation in person or virtually.
This is Maria Chaleos. Make this the year that you get the extra weight off that is weighing you down. Do what I did and find out the secret to losing up to 1 pound per day with 20 to 30 pounds gone in about a month or two. Schedule your free consultation in person or virtually, SLCFatLoss.com.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to 1 pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 801-450-1882 or go to SLCFatLoss.com. That's SLCFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Just again, a reminder to keep yourself out of harm's way if you're going to go play in the canyons today, because we had another skier up Little Conwood Canyon that suffered some serious injuries caught in a slide up there. And the Avalanche Center is saying that it's not a good time to take extra risks. So we'll keep an eye on that for you.
8:39 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And back to you, Andy.
Amanda, a bit heavy traffic right now coming up over 90th South in Sandy, and then some stop and go between 33rd and 21st South downtown. Earlier delays on 201 have cleared. Bangerter still a little slow south Jordan around 9800 South. Jason?
And still looking pretty good up north, although we do have this slowing if you are southbound I-15 from 31st Street in Ogden down to about Riverdale Road. It's kind of ebbed and flowed. Right now it's mostly ebbing and looking much better, and just a minor leftover delays from that earlier accident at this point. The rest of I-15 continues to roll along at regular speeds. You have no delays right now on any of the major feeders over to I-15. Eric?
A little bit of congestion getting over to the freeway on State Street between Pleasant Grove and American Fork, mostly at the 1100 East intersection in American Fork. And if you are northbound on I-15, that's looking good this morning. Right now, no problems northbound from Santaquin to Point of the Mountain. That's a 30-minute drive. Getting over to the freeway on 2100 North in the very north part of the county, that's looking slow as usual for eastbounders from Redwood to the entrance ramps. Two Brothers Mattress, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer. President's Day sale happening now at all Two Brothers Mattress locations and online at twobrothersmattress.com. I'm Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be a quiet start to the work week. Temperatures this morning in the 20s and highs a little bit warmer today in the low 40s. We expect mostly sunny skies across the entire state of Utah. We'll add some more clouds as we approach the middle parts of the work week, but overall expecting dry weather to continue with highs getting close to 50 by Wednesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mishuli.
Right now, sunny skies, 28 degrees.
Looks like Alex Stone's been up all night partying in Las Vegas with the Chiefs fans.
I would be too.
We'll hear some from him coming up in a moment on KSL.
Stay with us, and remember, you'll always find us streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. There are blackout curtains in every hotel room for a reason.
Yeah.
We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. This hour of Utah's Morning News brought to you by Zero Res, and Jake Stone is back with us again. I was thinking, Jake, unless you have a dog that you get down on the floor and play with, or maybe you've got grandkids you're crawling around with, you may not know how funky your carpet really smells these days. But it's time to give your carpet a little love with your help.
Yes. And the question is are you willing to get down and check? Like, are you confident that your carpet isn't as funky as you think it is? And that's a sign. Like, if you're nervous to get down on your carpet, it's definitely time to get it cleaned. But otherwise, it is recommended to get your carpets cleaned every 6 to 18 months. I know that's a wide span, but that just depends on if you have kids or pets in the home. So definitely time to get the carpets cleaned.
And one of the reasons I get them regularly cleaned, and I think 6 months is as long as we go, is because I have a child with asthma. And so I want the air quality in our house to be the very best it can. Cleaning the carpet regularly helps me with that.
No question. The indoor air quality and the ability that we have to, clean that filter, the biggest filter in your home, which is your carpet, and make sure that the air quality in your home is good. That is crucial. So making sure that we get the carpets cleaned regularly and making sure that we keep that filter clean and then the air clean, it's going to improve the entire health of the home.
And we're talking about that great patented process with no soaps or any harsh chemicals, so they don't have to flood your carpet to actually get out all of that yuck. You gave us a great deal of $33 per room for carpet clean plus a fourth room free using this promo code 4FREE24. But you also have an air duct cleaning special right now.
Yes, and that is $50 off. So if you're thinking about getting your air ducts cleaned, which you should clean your air ducts every 2 years. That's super important. This is a great deal to have us come out. We don't do it like the other guys. We don't just send a hose down each vent. We have the negative air cleaning system where we're going to come and really take care of it. Make sure the trunk lines are clean. Make sure the furnace is clean. We can even fog the air ducts to make sure that they're all disinfected on the inside. And it's, again, going to significantly improve the health of the home.
Here's the number to call. It's 801-288-9376. That's 801-288-9376. Or go to zerores.com.
Les Olson IT has the office technology you need to take your business to the next level. Protect your business with state-of-the-art security cameras, sensors, alarms, and access control protocols. Get peace of mind with cybersecurity from our elite IT services team. Reach the next level of productivity, security, and success with Les Olson IT. Learn more at lesolson.com.
You know that feeling? You flush the toilet and it goes down okay, but you feel like it used to really whoosh when it went down, and now it's more of a gurgle than a whoosh, and that's probably okay, but what if that gurgle instead of a whoosh means there's actually a bigger problem down there? Whipple that away. Making gurgly drains whoosh again is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. We can solve your sewer problems in just one day. Visit whipplethataway.com.
KSL News Time, 8:45. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
forecasters are urging people to be extra careful in the backcountry today, with avalanche danger still listed as considerable for much of the Wasatch Mountains. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, police say one person is in the hospital, one person died, and two others are being questioned after an early morning shooting in Sandy.
Third, it's traffic and weather together.
I-15 traffic right now. Traffic is still a little bit sluggish coming through South Salt Lake, 21st South up to the 6 South exit. Heavier spots still scattered around the commute. That's the only part where people are coming to a stop. I'm Andy Farnsworth in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be a seasonable start to the work week. I'm Devin Mishuli.
Right now, 28 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Let's check our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Preliminary investigations into yesterday's shooting at Pastor Joel Osteen's megachurch in Houston found that a pro-Palestinian message was written on the shooter's gun. Two sources briefed on the investigation share that with the ABC News, but there's still no word on the motive. ABC's Jim Ryan has the latest.
The 2 p.m. Sunday service at Lakewood Church is conducted in Spanish. Pastor Jorge Basabe had just begun the live stream. Gunshots are heard and people are seen running behind Basabe. A woman who had brought a rifle into the building was shot and killed by off-duty law enforcers. Police and the FBI are searching a home thought to be connected to the suspect.
Former President Donald Trump's in a Florida courtroom for a hearing in his classified documents case. He has pleaded not guilty. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has transferred his authority to his deputy. He's been hospitalized for the second time this year. The Pentagon says it is for a bladder issue. This is ABC News.
All right, let's go in depth now. The Kansas City Chiefs, of course, won their third Super Bowl in the span of 5 years.
ABC's Alex Stone was there, and he joined us this morning to talk about it.
It's celebrating. Well, really, it's still going on. I just walked through the casino here at Mandalay Bay, and there's still a lot of fans decked out in Chiefs gear, and they're still celebrating and hooting and hollering. Security went running by me, so something was going on, and they're at the bars. But inside the stadium, it went on for a long time as well. That this is what we were hearing for probably a good 2.5 hours. Just over and over and over again as the fans were celebrating and the players were on the field. Patrick Mahomes was on the field a good hour or so before finally he walked off. And some of the fans saying that this means a lot, that this is what they obviously came here wanting. And this is really emotional for them for several reasons, including this woman.
I actually just told my mom tonight that I am pregnant with my first child, so them winning was like a double whammy for
Congratulations.
me. So thank you very much. But
And her mom was standing there crying, both because of the baby and because of the win, that they are lifelong Chiefs fans, and to get all of the news. So they were all quite ecstatic. But the 49ers fans, they thought they had it in the first half, that it was looking good. And then to have it taken away from them, what would have been their first championship in 30 years, they were devastated by it. And but in the end, going to the Chiefs again, only the second overtime in Super Bowl history, with the win that turned out to be quite a great game. You know, at the beginning it was slow, but in the end, quite a great game.
Yeah. One of my friends last night on social media posted a thing that said, things are not going well at Allegiant Stadium. There's 70,000 fans and only one usher. But
That's pretty good.
The halftime show was a little bit longer this time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He went about 13 or 14 minutes, and a lot of special guests: Alicia Keys, her, Lil Jon, Ludacris. It was good, but is anybody going to be talking about it in 10 years? Probably not. It had some mic problems that made the performance sound a little bit off, at least in the stadium. It was so loud. I've covered a lot of these. This one was one where, I mean, you could not scream to the person next to you and they would hear you. And they gave us all these light-up necklace things to wear to make the whole stadium, the crowd light up. Mine is still blinking in front of me right now. I don't know when it's going to turn off, but apparently I'm still part of Usher's halftime show this morning.
I like the him on roller skates.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody perform on stage on roller skates
No,
before.
that was a cool moment. I can tell you this about Allegiant Stadium, and it's especially bad where Alex was sitting up in the press area, which is right next to where the announce booth is. The acoustics in that building, even though it cost them $1.9 or $1.8 billion to build, are not great.
Really? Is that why it got so loud?
Yeah. And so he was saying, you could be yelling at the person next to you and they wouldn't be able to hear you for that halftime music.
Wow.
But anyway, great night. And
It was.
I'm dying
Great game.
I'm dying to know what the ratings were, because it was
Oh, I
such
bet it was huge.
Yeah. And because it was close all the way to the end and even into overtime,
Right.
people would have stayed with it too.
For sure.
We'll see if we can get those numbers. Right now, though, let's see how the roads are doing with traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon That northbound I-15 mess in Draper's not getting any better, Andy. It might be getting worse.
It is getting worse now that they've got emergency vehicles blocking the right lane. Initially, it was just on the shoulder, but now you're going to see bumper-to-bumper traffic for a couple of blocks before the Bluffdale exit. As you leave Utah County and come into the Salt Lake Valley, you've got some slowing as well. Not as bad, but up near 106 South, and we still have some brake lights going, trying to get between 21st South and the 6 South downtown exit. Jason?
And we have an accident southbound I-15. This is going to be around 2nd north in Kaysville. It is off to the right shoulder. Looks like a cement truck and some emergency vehicle on scene there. So far, it's not really backing up traffic at all. People seem to be getting by without any problems because it's not really blocking any lanes. And the volume is fairly light, as it has been pretty much all morning long. Continues that way on I-15. Eric?
Got southbound slowing now getting into Park City. If you're exiting I-80 at Kimball Junction, 224 is a little bit slow going by the Canyons area. And then you've got your usual slowdowns westbound on Currents Boulevard getting into town from US 40, although that seems to be getting a little bit better, actually. I-15 Utah County continues to be good, but eastbound delays on 2100 north, the normal variety there as you head over from Redwood Road to the freeway. Call 866-0RES and say you want the KSL special. $33 per room cleaned and $50 off air duct cleaning. 0RES. Eric Butler in the KSL Traffic Center.
The beginning of the 7-day forecast is quiet. We expect mostly sunny skies for your Monday with highs in the low 40s. We warm up each day, so we'll be in the mid to upper 40s Tuesday and Wednesday. A chance of rain Thursday that'll slightly cool us down, but then we're back into the mid to upper 40s with quiet weather to close out the work week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Devin Mashuli.
And right now, 28 degrees. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
KSL News Time, 8:52.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get the power of doing it right. Detailed project proposals, excellent customer service, and trusted professionals who get the job done on time and on budget. The power of experience. We're kings of the scaffolding and pros with the stucco. We've been there, done that. Get your project started at CertaPro.com and get the power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails from people all the time. Here's one. Dear Dan, I hear your talk about a lifetime service guarantee. Free? Really? Please help me avoid all your fine print and be honest about what free means. You understand that we should be very wary of a free offer. Signed, Skeptical. Hi, Skeptical. I remember 22 years ago when we started PC Laptops and our lifetime service guarantee, people thought it was too good to be true. Well, you know, after a decade, people started believing me a little bit. But you know, it's been 22 years of having the privilege to serve our friends and neighbors like you. Our lifetime service guarantee has become the most trusted warranty in the industry. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop computer and they start at only $29 a month. Check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. Here's to seeing you soon, Skeptical.
Dave and Dujanovic. Senator Mike Lee warned us. He said he was going to speak for a long time against the Ukraine spending bill. Well, he was right. The filibuster ate up nearly 4 hours on the Senate floor. I'll share why I found it a valiant but ultimately futile effort. Today on Dave and Dujanovic.
Watching Utah's Money brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. May be harder to get guacamole or avocado toast this month. A lack of rain and warmer weather in Mexico has less shipments coming into the U.S. The state of Michoacan, which produces 90% of avocado shipped to the U.S., got half the rain it normally gets.
More people are trying to get their hands on weight loss drugs, and demand is outpacing supply. Dominant drug makers Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, makers of Wegovy and Zepbound, are showing positive supply developments. Goldman Sachs expects 15 million U.S. adults to be on obesity medications by the year 2030.
Markets have been pretty flat all morning. We're in the green now. The Dow is up about 59. The S&P is up 8.5, and the NASDAQ is even up this hour by 54 points.
I-15 is relapsing. Some northbound delays are back in Bluffdale. We'll check it next on KSL.
Again, this hour of Utah's Morning News brought to you by Zero Res. Jake Stone back with us one more time. He has promised to make us fall in love in this month of love with our carpets again. And I do love this price, Jake, so tell people about it.
Yes, it is $33 per room with the fourth room free. You've got to use the promo